The views shared on this podcast are personal opinions for conversation and insight only. Guest perspectives are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of Kalaj Dame or this podcast. Nothing discussed here should be taken as legal, financial, medical, or professional advice. Always do your own research and make decisions based on your individual situation. It's Kalaj Dame Podcast. You know what it is. We're available anywhere. Spotify, you can watch the video. Also, wherever you get your podcasts, whether it's Apple or I don't know. Wherever you get them, we got an audio format too. Check out all of them, regardless of what the topics is. I know some of the topics is crazy, but yeah, make sure you stick around, watch every week. This podcast is about bridging gaps across diverse topics. Even when subjects don't seem connected, there's always something to learn. My goal is to bring you the stories and experiences of my guests so you could take something away from it and grow from every conversation, right? So, you know, sometimes we might have a video about fishing. There might be a video about DJs. There might be a guest that comes on that's, I don't know, a therapist or a psychiatrist, whatever. You're thinking, what do these things have to do with each other? The whole point is to bridge gaps. So we're dropping gems. We're having conversations, learning stories and experiences so that everyone can learn from it. We're all play cousins, right? We sharing information with y'all. Make sure you subscribe.
We could go outside. If it's a winter day, we go outside, we walking, we talking shit, and you slip and fall on your ass. I can take, if I caught that on camera, I can boomerang that. I can put a little song around it, and you just like, and I can put that in the world, and people like, flip.
Yeah. And now you got paid.
And now you got paid for falling on your ass. You got humiliated for falling on your ass.
Yeah.
You're recognized for nothing else you did but falling on your ass.
What exactly is Rhyme Calisthenics?
I like to call it the official MC competition first. I turn around, he's right behind me, like, what's up? What's up? And me and him start battling. We're just battling in the lobby.
Just
of the
y'all
tower.
two? No,
yes.
Nobody else?
Near those little, in these industries, you gotta get people young, and young people are impressionable. They are trying to make money. Hip-hop culture is not trying to make money. Hip-hop culture is trying to uphold their culture and their standards. So this is the fight.
We just shine a light where they hide the grave. It's the Kalaj Dame Podcast.
My intro for you,
Yeah.
just to let the audience know who I'm talking to today. So, you're a guy that I met way back, I want to say 95, 96.
Okay.
It's been that long.
You sure 95, 96?
I'm sure, 100%.
I graduated high school in 95.
It was somewhere around there, I
All right.
promise.
All right.
Club Lager.
Okay, that's 96, 97.
Okay, 1 year, I'll give you that.
95 in high school, Laga, all that.
96, 97.
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely the late 90s.
Okay. So yeah, matter of fact, Boca just posted the video. It was like Lyrical Mayhem.
Lyrical Mayhems.
And I was with Schoolyard.
Okay.
And I forgot the name of the crew you was with.
I think it was like Smoke Fish.
Smoke Fish.
Yeah.
That was it.
We was the city abstract. I'm the city abstract kid.
There you go. So we go way back to then. I've always known you as being almost like I want to say like a keystone, a cornerstone in the hip hop community in Pittsburgh. To the point, every time that I cross paths with you, I reintroduce myself as if we never met.
You see how this city works?
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
You're also the owner, operator, founder of Rhyme
I'm the
Calisthenics.
CEO.
CEO.
Yeah.
Nationally, probably internationally known at this point.
Yeah.
Where you've had like some of the greats come through those doors and perform.
Yeah.
And as you've told me many times, every time I ask, that is your baby that you're trying to grow into something even more enormous.
I didn't have them great. That's important for my brand, for people to understand. Like, they became great, you know, because they kept going. But I got them.
In the early days.
Yeah, I got everybody I had a moment when we were developing. I mean, it's in the name, it's in the brand. So that's what. Oh, yeah.
Okay, nice. I never performed at Rhyme Cal. I was always too scared. Too much of a chicken.
You know, like 30%. I almost know, you know, like 30 or 40% of people from Pittsburgh say that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like they was, and it was after the fact. Mm-hmm. After I established, you know, the concept and people seen it and start catching on in that early 2000 stage, it was like when people start coming, they're like, oh, hell no, I ain't doing that. I can't do that. Or I don't, you know, they couldn't cover it. So it's fine. When I first started, like really, like when I was recruiting and trying to get people to get into it and trying to have this concept, I was giving a lot of pushback. But then after a while, I'm like, hey, man, it's fine, bro. So.
All right. So I tell you what.
Why was you scared before you even moved? Why are you scared?
So, okay. I spent a lot of time in my younger years. So this was like late 90s, we'll say from 96 to like 2002-ish, somewhere around there. I spent a lot of time doing ciphers and battling where, you know, after Club Laga, Stratus, or Panama Jacks, after all those clubs let out, everybody would link up in Oakland.
Running my rounds down there,
till 4 or 5 in the morning, we standing on that little side street next to the we got a cipher going on. Or you know, some type of battle, summertime during night school out in front of the South Stadium, South High School, or the regatta. Yeah. Somebody start rapping, all of a sudden the circle form around them. I was one of those guys that I was either starting it, so it'd be somebody I knew that rap, and I'd be like, yo, check this out, just roll up.
You would start your sparker. You sparked it, okay.
Either that, or I would see a cipher already going, and I would just walk in, and it's like hop, like double dutch.
It's like double. You just jump in.
Exactly.
That was the nature of that culture, man.
So there were a few battles that, and I learned over time that you have to have a balanced crowd. Like you can't go to someone else's home territory where all of their friends are around and you're trying to battle them, because no matter what that person says, 9 times out of 10, you're going to get booed or, you know, it's going to be bad, right? Wow. So at the time, I didn't realize that I've lost a few battles, and that feeling of being booed where like people are talking about you simply because you're not from there or they don't know you is like, and that feeling carried along with me. So when I seen Rhyme Cal, like when the opportunity came up, it's like, do you really want to be in front of people and forget your lines, or, you know, you do all this prep and stuff like that, and all of a sudden you draw a blank and you on stage, like that feeling is humiliating. And I couldn't put myself through it. That plus, I always had a tendency to forget my lines, like whenever I would try to prepare and stuff like that.
And then the pressure of the audience, the music, you don't know, the spinning of the wheel. I know.
It's much easier for me to freestyle more in an intimate environment where I know the people. So like if it's a gathering, like a party or something like that, a get together where all my friends and families around, I'll kill it, like be the star of the show. But if I don't know the people, can't do it.
Can't do it.
But rather than jumping straight into Rhyme Cal, I guess that was just more for the audience to just kind of give a little taste of what we're about to get into.
And your experience with Rhyme Cal. And that's okay, man. I'm not, it's fine. Rhyme Cal is not easy.
No?
No, it's not meant to be. But I've tried to tell people about Rhyme Calisthenics. And people are like, what is Rhyme Cal?
Yeah.
I even love that conversation that happened to me about Rhyme Calisthenics, because it became Rhyme Cal after, me trying to bring it to the city and talk to rappers and trying to get people to play this thing. After a while, people would come back to me and they couldn't pronounce calisthenic. They would forget that part. When passing, it's real clear to understand, but I would see people in the street like, yo, Stretch, when the next time you doing the the battle thing, you know, right? And it would be like Rhyme Calisthenics, bro. Yeah. And they're not even accepting what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, Rhyme Cal, and then it was clean, like Rhyme Cal, and it just kind of caught on. It just made it real simple for people to, you know, digest that. So it's just interesting to say that. But for the it's the calisthenics, you know, it's we call it Rhyme Calisthenics because
It's like a workout.
it is a workout, but we embrace that moment that you're talking about when you're in your personal space. These are your workshops. These are your moments where you're supposed to be sharpening your skills. The show is going to expose how serious you take your craft. And it comes to find out, and ain't no offense to you being scared or nothing.
Hey.
It just shows how much certain people are gonna, you know, tell how serious. You know, because another, I don't know if you're the rapper Jay Hawk, I wanted him to play, and he was just like, I can't do that. I love Rhyme Cal, but man, that's too
I feel like,
you know.
I feel like that sounds familiar. So you said 96, 97, post high school is probably around the time that I seen you in Lager and you was in the group Smoke Fish. So how did it start? Like, what was that moment where you first was like, I want to rap, I want to do this is the direction I'm going in?
Oh, okay, my origin story, right? I'm from Wilkinsburg, right?
Okay.
It's the 90s, so gang violence is
I feel like you probably know my cousin.
probably.
Yeah. Anthony Redmond.
Yeah. I know Anthony Redmond.
Yeah. Figure.
We went to elementary school together.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, man. I'm not going to bring up that story about Anthony Redmond. Yo, peace, Anthony, if you're watching. Yeah, but, wow, you said Anthony Redmond, which is a very interesting, like, part of this story of mine.
Really?
It's interesting that you said that, bro.
Yeah, that's
But
my, his dad is my mom's brother.
So let's just leave with that. The fact, I had an altercation with a group of people in high school back then. Anthony Redmond was in a little bit of that altercation.
Okay.
Got into like fight with Law. You remember Law? That
Larmer.
the two
something.
cousins. They end up going down for the RICO project.
Yeah.
It was Law because it was Larmer and Wilkinsburg,
Yeah.
and they kind of came together, and it became so. I had an altercation with some gang members in Wilkinsburg, and my parents, they were just like, we're not having this. So, and this district is out of pocket. So they got me transferred to go to Bashir,
Okay.
thinking that they was trying to avoid me from gang violence, but it ended up just having me go to school with a bunch of people from the Hill, which was, you know, Bloods. And I'm just like, this is not good for me.
Not
but
much
they
better.
thought, I don't know what so they made that move and ended up staying with my grandmother in, over here on the south side in Beachview, and I'm going to Bashir. This is what really gets me into hip hop, right?
Okay.
So I'm going to school there. I'm keeping, you know, trying to be a low profile because I'm from Wilkinsburg. And if you know, back then, there was serious segregation. I think the 90s is what caused this kind of like segregation of this hip hop or what you were saying earlier. Even what Black Steel was saying in his interview, this city is segregated. So this gave me an opportunity now that I'm older looking back of me traveling through these different areas just to get home is what made me make the decision of being into hip hop, is what kept me able to be in each section. So I'm on the south side, I'm around these people. I'm hanging out with Gene Stovall. I don't know if you know who he is, but he's like big singer, rapper, do music. Me and him had a duo called Alien Faces. So I'm in high school with him. And I'm also with this other guy named Artemin Steele, man. Oh man, I think this brother lived in East Liberty. This guy was like non-stop beatboxing. Like he just could beatbox for long periods of time.
Okay.
So these were some of the group of kids that went to Bashir, but they weren't from these different the main areas that Bashir was.
Like not from the Hill District.
Yeah, like I was staying in Beachview, but I'm from Wilkinsburg. My parents are from Wilkinsburg.
Right.
So it got to the point where I was just using my grandmother's address. And we kind of like, we didn't get along. So they're like, man, you just gonna have to go home with, and we just never talked about it. The high school had my address in Beachview, but I would just end up going to going home. So with them travels, I'd get on the trolley with Artemis Steele, and he'd be beatboxing, and I'm freestyling on the trolley. Then I go downtown, and at the arcade downtown during the time, I would go in there, play video games. I would be jumping in these ciphers there with people from the Hill, people from the North Side. They'd be down, so I'm down chilling with them.
Yeah.
Then I would get on the P1, which used to be the EBA.
Yeah.
And then I would stop in East Liberty. And then I would go to the Kingsley Center.
Okay.
That's right. So the Kingsley Center used to have this program in the back where they had like a track board and they had like all this different music equipment. Mm-hmm. I would go there because Artemis would go there and he would be trying to make beats. He showed me that he made beats and stuff.
Was that like what the Hosanna House had?
Yeah, it was like a community center, right? And it was, at the time, I think they moved it farther. I think they moved it off of Hamilton Street. So it's almost like, I think it's on, I want to say maybe Highland Avenue. They moved locations, but they used to be right there at the EBA stop.
Yeah, I remember that.
So I would go there, mess around back there and freestyle there, and then I would go over to David Shoes and Mogear on Penn Ave, where the Kill and Quee would be selling the bootlegs, and then I would be freestyling and rapping there. Like a Kill would be selling all the bootleg tapes, and then he would just be playing beats or playing music, and it would just be hip hop right on the block. It was that sector. So I would go there and I would freestyle there till late at night, and then get back on the bus and finally get home like around 9. So I'm getting out of school and I'm getting home every day like 9, but this is my daily thing. It's just, and this is my hip hop, and this is what kept me alive. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, and this is how I was able to avoid being in a gang or, you know. Yeah. That's what I say. I was a tall, lanky dude wearing yellow. It wasn't because I liked yellow or orange. I'm just trying to be color neutral out here with everything that was going on of the different, you know, pieces of the city that I had to like navigate through to get to my house, just to get home. So
that sounds slightly familiar. Not necessarily the story exactly, but like we moved around a lot. Like in my younger years, up to being a teenager. So every couple years, we're moving to a new neighborhood. And like you said, Pittsburgh was definitely like segregated, divided because of the gangs and stuff. Yeah. So it's like
that started it, and it's still today a mentality. Yeah. But I felt, well, for me, it started in the 90s.
Yeah, definitely. Right after, I want to say, the Chronic.
Yeah.
Like somewhere around after that whole West Coast thing, which maybe I was in the 6th grade.
Yeah.
It was like, you know, if you're in this neighborhood, you have to wear blue.
Yeah.
If you're in this neighborhood, you have to wear red.
That's what I'm saying. I was wearing yellow. You feel me?
Exactly. So for me, having all red clothes, living on the hill, and then moving to Northside, is like,
what are you doing, bro?
Yeah. And you know, I had cousins that lived in Lincoln and Homewood. So when I would go visit them with my all red clothes on, they like, what's up? And then when I lived on the hill, my cousins would come visit me. They have all blue clothes on, and my friends is like, what's up with your cousins? Like, it was always a problem.
Did you have another, what was his name? It started with an R. It's Anthony Redman's cousin.
Rob?
I think named Rob.
Rob Parker?
Maybe.
From Lincoln?
No, I saw him. I remember him being in Wilkinsburg. I think he was in a grade under mine. And then I ended up seeing him in Bashir being like, he was a blood. He used the red Carhartt. And I don't know if that was, but that was also Anthony Redman's cousin as well.
Might have been. I
don't remember his name. It started with R, but I remember seeing him, and it was almost like, I know where you're originally from, and you know, we just, you know, and he was running with a bunch of hill dudes, and I'm like free agent over here just trying to navigate through all of this.
I don't know.
And I ain't say nothing. I was just like, but it was like that. It was just.
I know a few dudes like that though.
Yeah,
like I knew a guy that every hood he would go to, he would like he would wear the color under his shirt.
Yeah.
Take his shirt off. Yeah. Like, dude, this is crazy. And be talking like it too. Like he, one of them. Like, nah, bro. That's wild.
Yeah.
All right, so how'd you get to Smokefish?
Smokefish was, well, we, as a rapper, I was looking for producers, that I can kind of like get along with and connect with. And my man G-Man, I think who's out of like Swissville, he was making beats and me and him start like connecting. Him and my boy Big Snook, George, me and him end up linking with him because I was with this group named the Beyondies. So, and those are the guys that I kind of like connected to in East Liberty. When I get to the East Liberty out of downtown freestyling with those guys, when I get to East Liberty, it was more those guys. So it was Shay Cobain, which he was Yenim back in the day, which was money backwards. It was my boy named Tequest, Big Snook, and myself. And we were a group. And then me and my boy Tequest kind of like fell out a little bit, through that. And I kind of left the group and I kind of quit and was just kind of doing my own thing. And then that's when I ended up connecting with my boy G-Man when it came to beats and everything. And we had this whole conversation about Smokefish. I think it was more his idea. I was like, have you ever seen a fish smoke? And I'm like, no. And he's like, well, there you go. And I'm like, well, okay, I'm with it. Let's go. It sounds different. Let's be that. Let's be different amongst everything that everybody else is doing. Yeah. Let's go the other route. Let's be the native tongues. Let's be the trap. And he had like, me and him had like similar influences. Like we both loved Dilla, we both love Slumville. We love that whole sound. So that's why we were able to kind of lab and kind of put that out. And I would go and chill with him in his basement. We end up getting like the digital 8-track, like this rolling that we got. Yeah, and we used to start trying to do He's making beats and we're doing freestyles. And I'm out here trying to get these events. And then Lyrical Mayhem popped up. So, and then we put out that one CD. Yeah.
I remember seeing the logo around stickers, maybe. Did y'all have stickers?
Yeah, we had stickers for a minute,
They used to be stuck everywhere. Like, it was definitely a thing. And this was around the time when Strict Flow was a thing.
Yeah.
Lone Catalyst.
The Massive, you remember the Massive? They ended up becoming 1824.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, my boy Majestic used to be like the ringleader for all of them. And they were all going to Pitt. They were all Pitt. I think they were from Philly. It was more of the college scene that do you ever know Knowledge Build is he used to beatbox. Back then he was G-Note. I think he was.
It sounds really familiar.
Yeah, it was G-Note, a little short guy who would be out there beatboxing. He was one of the main beatboxers down there at like the O and be across the street,
Sounds really familiar. I'm not sure.
I ran into all of them down at, that was when I graduated high school and worked. The O era, I think was late 90s.
Yeah.
And then WPTS, a lot of them would go up there with Black Steel and get on the microphone. Because I think they all went to Pitt, so.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. Like you said, it was segregated. My thing was
see how it's like blogging, like everybody got this like, type of, but we'll get into that later.
My whole thing with the rap thing was I, for some reason, didn't intermingle much with the backpackers because I was on the street side.
Yeah.
And, back then, like I said, because of the gangs and stuff, and because you're in this neighborhood, I chose the path of I'm going to hang out with the drug dealers and the gangbangers and not necessarily portray an image. Like I was actually like walking the walk and being around them and stuff. And it was like, this is the music that we're making. So whenever we would see, this is just pure hip hop. Like, I'm coming to destroy you. You know what I mean? And it was almost like us against them type thing. Whenever there was like a cipher or something like that. And then Shadow Lounge came around.
Yeah.
Shadow Lounge for me, when I seen it, it was kind of like, this is a backpacker spot. How do we take this over to where we can do shows here? And I was like, branding wise, I'm thinking of that, like, if the crowd is used to going there to see, pure hip hop, boom bap, I can't have like hood street rap in there. So this was like a dilemma of mine, trying to figure out how to get my crowd to Shadow Lounge. And Shadow Lounge is where you had the first Rhyme Calisthenics events, right?
Yeah.
So I guess let's move to there. So we have Smokefish, right?
Yeah.
And then somewhere in the early 2000s, we have Shadow Lounge.
Okay.
How do we get Smokefish Stretch to Shadow Lounge? What happened in between?
You don't know. There? You don't know none about that space right there.
Nothing.
Okay. All right. So we can talk about it. This is important.
All right.
All right. So I fell out with Smokefish. I was a little lost in direction at that time, being a young man moving forward. And I ended up staying with my uncle in New York City at like the beginning of 2000. And that didn't work out, man. He was like super strict, right? And I stayed there for like a month though. Rest in peace, my Uncle Daryl. He's gone now, but man, he helped me. He's actually the guy who made the first wheel. So I definitely love this dude. And we end up, it's like my favorite uncle, and he helped me out a lot. But at that time when I was a young man staying there, we just wasn't getting along and working out. So he had me like on a strict like regiment there to try to get myself together in one of the capitals of the world, New York City. Like I'm downtown Brooklyn in his loft. And he ends up kicking me out and deciding to bring me back to Pittsburgh, right? So I go out because this is my last night in the city. So I was like, well, you know what? Because the whole time when I got there, it was just work and trying to get myself set up to get out. So I didn't get a chance to even go do any hip hop and I'm like, man, I'm like, well, if I'm going home tomorrow, I'm gonna go and do something. And I remember somebody giving me this flyer. It's a place called E0027, which is the end of the week, right? That's because every Sunday they have this open mic, So I go to this open mic and kick it, and then I get up on stage and, shoot my shot here. And they thought I was dope and they thought I was talented. And they're like, oh, you should definitely come back. You're ill. Like, where are you from? And I'm like saying I'm from Pittsburgh. And I'm pretty much telling them like, nah, man, this is just it. I just wanted to come and enjoy the city. I'm going back to my city. And then he offered like a room to stay in.
Oh, wow.
Like, yeah, this dude named Rashad. And he was like, nah, man, I got like my mother's, he had his like grandmother's apartment. And back then they had like rent control from like the 80s. So he's actually like 2 blocks away from where I'm staying in Brooklyn. So I'm just thinking, this is just God's work right now.
Right.
He's like, yeah, I got a 3-bedroom for like $450. Like they can't raise the rent. I just took over from my grandmother's, lease. So you can just stay there until you figure things out. So that's what I did. So I went back home that night, packed my things up, and went 2 blocks down the street.
Wow.
And the beautiful thing about it, because after I got out of his house, and me and my uncle became cool again. Like we became really cool. When I was in his house, I couldn't like abide by his rules. But then when we're out, I come kick it like, what's up with y'all?
Right.
We were all good. But now I'm here, I'm getting a job, I'm working in a restaurant business, but I'm also at night promoting, right, for this open mic.
Okay.
So now I'm in the city for, I think I come back and I start Rhyme Cal in 06. So I'm there for like 5 years, from like 2000 to like 05, 06.
Oh, wow, okay.
That's the space that you're talking about.
Yeah, because So there was only 1 year at that time when I was in Atlanta, but I remember, if I remember clearly, I didn't hear anything about like your name.
Yeah,
When Rhyme Cal came out, it was like, where the hell Stretch been?
New York City.
Wow, that's crazy.
I was there, and I was at the Mecca. Like I said, at first I got there and I was just working, and then after I met Rashad, I started promoting for this space. So in this space, what they called it the dojo, you know. So every week I'm up here in New York, like now. The same thing we did downtown, the same thing I'm doing at the O, and I'm doing here, you know?
Okay.
This is how I end up meeting James Armstead Brown. That's another person you should interview, because he ended up coming to Pittsburgh and going to Pitt. I was with him maybe a year and a half, and there used to be this open mic. There was this group called The Real Live Show, right? And they would host an open mic. It was like a jam band open mic. So it would have like singers, and they would also, people come and sit in. Like, this is New York, so you can have a weekly open mic and people come in and walk, you know, like, for me, and how Shadow Lounge is for me coming back, like there's a Shadow Lounge every 4 blocks in the Lower East Side. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Every day, there's one place that's having a Shadow Lounge moment, you know?
Yeah.
So that's what I'm doing. I'm working all the way up to like 11. I'm working like 11, 12. I get off work, and then I go in the streets and I'm giving out flyers, and I'm going to other open mics to promote end of the week. Because this is the people that gave me a home. These are the people that like kind of like, I guess, took me in out of the crew of hip-hop open mics of all the other hip-hop open mics.
So was it like a doing it for love thing? Like, you know, just as a friend loyalty? Or was it like a job you was getting paid for?
It was a job that I was getting like paid a little bit. They give me a couple dollars when events come through, and it would give me access to their events.
Okay.
Right? And they were bringing people through. So, and I'm just here to say this because I believe that Rhyme Calisthenics is like EO is the godfather of the Rhyme Cal. They're the, you know, I'm the entity. Without them, I wouldn't be able to do this for Pittsburgh. You know, and me going through, so it was almost like an internship experience looking back.
Kind of like your experience there taught you, or did they actually help you to start it?
That taught me, and they
like how to navigate.
They didn't help me start. This is something but we're gonna get. This is what's happening in this space from the Smokefish to Rhyme Cal. I'm in New York, like hosting. I'm going from open mic to open mic, doing open mics, rapping, being an MC artist myself. But not even really being an artist, coming to find out. Not like I'm about to put out a record or something, but just working stages. You know, these small rooms that I'm in here working. All off the base of me going in, spitting a freestyle, emceeing this small room, give out a bunch of EO dub flyers. Yeah, come, you think that was cool, come to this, is how I was moving for a minute for them.
Okay.
Then from that, I hooked up with the Real Live Show, which was a Tuesday open mic. And they were going to go overseas for some gig or something. So they're like, yo, why don't you host it? Why don't you host the open mic? So I had to end up putting the band together, and now I got my own little open mic that I'm hosting. I think this is like 2000, maybe. It's all blurry now because it's a long time ago. But I ended up hosting like a weekly, and I had a jam band, and I kind of took over what they were doing. That's how I met James Armstead Brown. Yeah, that is here now. And he was on keyboards, and I think he had a saxophone.
Okay.
You know? So I'm trying to put this band together. We're doing a weekly, and we're doing these events. Then I end up competing in a Challenge of Champions. Is the EO Dub, how their system was. They do a weekly event, but at the end of the month, they'll have like this interesting challenge. And the challenge had like 5 challenges within it. And then they had judges and everything. I think they would like do it at the end of the month. And I was in the one with rest in peace, Pumpkinhead was in my round, underground rapper, legend. And Jen was, this is the era when Jen was doing these freestyle.
Jen, the Freestyle Friday dude?
Yeah. The Asian guy. Yeah, he's
Oh,
at
wow.
Fat Beats. He's doing. This is the circuit of real-time rappers. This is the circuit of MCs. He's going to all these open mics. He's standing in front of Fat Beats. We're all doing this. There's a whole Immortal Technique was doing it. Homeboy Sandman was doing it. All these guys were out here running these open mics. So I'm in with those guys, and I end up beating them in the challenge. It was a little bit upset too, because people, are biased, and they've been seeing Jen. They're like, who's this dude beating? How'd he beat Jen?
Right.
So we did the challenge, and then they had the challenge of champions. So the people that won the monthly ones end up being in this big one, and they did BB Kings. They would try to host them there in this whole, and this is EO I think they're still the longest running hip hop open mic in the city. So congratulations to them. Yeah, it was huge. It was the underground thing to do, man. EO I showed them a lot of respect. We brung them out here after I started getting Rhyme Cal going, because I just kind of needed their blessings. Yeah. Because even when I would be when I would be allowed to go to their meetings, because they had a whole structure, they had a whole Wu-Tang, crew. Mm-hmm. Okay. I'd be like, we should do this, we should do that. And they'd be like, chill, like this, we got this, we know what we're doing. Right. So everything that I wanted to do, and to complement that, I just put in rhyme. I put it in my own system when I got here.
That's a good point, actually. I hear people complain about stuff like that all the time, like working for a company or a team, and it's like, oh, I have all these great ideas, and they're stupid because they don't want to take my ideas. But like you said, it's an opportunity for you to create your own lane, right?
Yeah, I end up creating my own lane in a smaller market. So I'm there doing that. Things is getting a little tough for me, so I fall back, and my father gets like sick. He gets like cancer, and that's a little scary for me. Mm-hmm. And I'm like having a hard time holding it down up there, how I'm moving. So I end up moving back. Okay. My dad's okay now. Also, James is like, hey, I'm moving to your hometown. So I'm about to go to Pitt. Who should I link up with? So I try to link him up with everybody and that's how he ends up getting with Justin from the Shadow Lounge. Yeah. So he's already, and before I left, it was just, they didn't have their liquor license, and they were just giving out Arizona teas. It was like a rec room in the very beginning. So when I left, by the time I came back, it was just like, the Orange Room, they were a full club, and everybody's like, the Shadow Lounge, and I'm kind of like, this is, and I'm coming off my New York state of mind. You have to remember that too. Like, I've been there for a couple years in the streets rapping. So when I came here, it was like, it was a smaller market. It was just different. Crazy. I was like, this is it. Like, wow, this is Shadow. This is it. This is all we, so.
I don't think, when I first went to the Shadow Lounge, we're talking 2000, 2001, throwing shows, and I remember it was literally like just Justin, just kind of not saying he didn't know business, but you could tell he was very early in his career as he was navigating. And the way he grew and they expanded, I don't even remember any of that. I've probably only been to the Shadow Lounge since they like expanded, during that time, maybe like once. Because I was in a couple Womp battles.
Okay.
But they grew, and it was magnificent. It was beautiful. So Rhyme Cal started after they expanded?
Yeah. I came back when I think they got their liquor license and everything was, and they had the Orange Room, and I think they had that Blue Room. I don't think they had Ava yet, but eventually they end up getting that. And
that was a part of it?
Ava? Yeah, that was all kind of like the same owners. They end up getting the other space on the other side, so you can kind of like.
That was Justin?
Yeah.
Wow.
He ended up getting all of that.
I got to bring him on. That's dope.
Yeah.
All right, so the moment it hits you, or not the moment it hits you, but I'm sure you've had ideas running because, like you said, you tried to pitch these ideas to those people in New York. At what point do you say, okay, this is my thing, I want to do it? Reach out to Justin and like make it a real thing. Like, did you have partners? How did that all work out?
So the fact that me and James had that relationship in New York, running this weekly, he's here. I think he's here for like maybe a year and a half, I just had this conversation with him. Like, we just sat down and I just was like, so, what's going, I'm here, I'm back in Pittsburgh. What can we do? What's going on here? What can we make happen hip hop wise? And he explained the Pittsburgh showcase, shows. And this is what kind of Rhyme Cal kind of like was born off this brainstorm. So I'm like, so how the local shows, how he described it to me when I came back was promoters book local rappers, right, to do their showcases, to do their show, but it's almost like a revolving door. Like, an artist would come and bring 10 people. Another artist would perform, bring 5 people. Another artist come and bring 2 people. So, but after somebody performed, they would kind of leave, or their people would be disattached to everybody else that's performing.
Right, okay.
So say you're performing and your 10 people come out, and you go up there, you do your show, it's dope, then you get off, and you have that like, oh, we just did it, and all your people rally around you like, oh man, you was up there, you killed it, bro. And you're outside, you have a cigarette break, and you're just talking about what just happened on stage. You're outside, all your people come to check on you because they only came to see you. Right. The only people they know in the flyer is you. Right. They probably didn't even see the flyer because they heard it from you.
Right.
They're like, hey, come down, bring your cousin's girlfriend, and come and see. While these people are performing to their 5 or their 2. Somebody's trying to engage with a person from them, and they're just like, oh, I came with them, I gotta go. And you're like, babe, you ain't gonna see me perform, I'm performing too. And like, oh, I don't know you, Yeah. And everybody would kind of pay in. They would like give them tickets, you sell your tickets, you perform, you got your slot. And this was the local, what was told to me, this is how local hip hop shows are ran.
So this is a Pittsburgh thing?
This is
New
a
York?
Pittsburgh thing.
Yeah, definitely.
This is not a New York thing. This is what James is telling me from a person who's from New York now living here.
And this is what he does? Did he tell
No,
you?
this is what he just told me he noticed when it comes. Because I'm like, well, what's up with the scene? I'm trying to figure out how can we get in here and get in where we fit in.
They still
based
do
off
that.
what we were doing in New York with the open mic that we had. So this is this conversation we're having because this is our relationship.
Yeah.
Was our weekly, he's on keys, I'm in the front, how do we, and this is what he tells me.
That was the answer to versus having artists pay to perform, right?
Yeah.
So like normally a promoter would say, you're a local act that probably doesn't really have a following, or I don't know much about you. If you want to perform, pay $300.
Yeah.
And instead of that, the better idea is, here's 30 tickets, sell them for $10 a piece or whatever.
Or give them away. I paid you with the tickets.
Exactly.
It's on you to make your money.
Right. Okay. So he tells you about
this system. He's like, it seems like the promoters, and this is what local hip hop, at least in a live performing position, is looking like.
Right. Okay.
And you gotta remember, this is early 2000. We're having this conversation in 05.
Okay.
We officially did our event in 06,
Right.
So that's what we start talking about. And then I start bringing up the whole EO dub stuff and like, yo, maybe we could do a challenge or something, And that's why I'm the one who came up with all the challenges, just to make the record straight. I'm the one who came up with a lot of challenges because I'm an MC. He's the one that came up with the wheel and how to like turn it into a system.
Okay.
So I'm like, they can do this, they can do this, they can do all the things that I'm seeing that rappers could do and what it really takes to be, you know, a dope MC. All those little brainstorms that I wanted to share with E0027, that they were like, you're doing the most. Mm-hmm. He was like, he was telling me as well, it's like, come on, Stretch, you're doing the most. Like, this is, how are we gonna package this? This is the Rap Olympics.
Right, right.
And then it was like, well, why don't we leave it to chance? Let's put it all on the wheel then, if we're gonna be doing all this. Mm-hmm. And then that's how the Wheel of Skills kind of came to be. And then it was just kind of a, you know, that was the brainstorm. That was the...
So that's the brainchild of Rhyme Calisthenics.
Yeah, that's how it was. How do we be able to help local artists get their shine and performance and be on a platform, but still be able to keep everybody engaged as the show as a whole? And that was our thing. That was what we were trying to do. Make it exciting, everything around it show. Exciting for the consumer, the watcher, right. To keep them, something we had to add for the person to stay and see a person that they don't know right. Because of the segregation, to kind of break it up. And it was the wheel, with the triggering of the music, you know, and that was the other piece that we had that's is the music in the theater. So in New York, that also in that same span, I did an interactive theater. I ended up dating this theater girl in the process of doing that open mic. And I ended up writing this like interactive music. It was like real abstract art. Like I'm an abstract dude, but I don't be, you know, projecting too much. Yeah. So I do this interactive theater with this girl. I get with this non-for-profit, you know, and I'm throwing around concepts and brainstorming. They're like, well, let's do that. And I did this interactive kind of theater because that's my thing. I'm an MC, and an MC is a person who interacts with the audience more than just, best said by Boy Scrap, a lot of rappers today just write and edit. They write, record, and edit. Yeah. Write, record, and edit. But they don't perform their stuff. Right. You know, they're not even thinking about that. They think, oh, that's just gonna, there's no work in that. You just go recite what you wrote.
Bro, that you know? Oh man, that is the crazy part. And that's the part about music today that really frustrates me. Like, when I was younger, like late 90s, early 2000s, like that was my run, right? Yeah. And we used to have almost like our version of like a think tank or focus group of what can we do to get the crowd more into it? Yeah. Like I was known for whenever I would do sound check before a performance, I would grab the mic and I would go everywhere in the whole entire place to see where I was able to go before the mic starts screeching. We would have t-shirts, not because we wanted to sell them, but give them away. So anytime I would buy t-shirts, it was like, no, I'm gonna hold on to these while I'm performing and I'm gonna just find somebody in the crowd, give it to them. So we performed Whammo Talent Show, 2001. The Biome, I want to say it was. Okay. I was literally the first act, like me personally, to get off the stage and walk up and down the aisles, giving away t-shirts. All right. That was always my thing, to the point where I don't understand, like, today how people are operating, where it's just make music, record a video, upload it. You know, and when they perform, they're like standing in one spot, walking back and forth.
Because they're not working on that muscle, that they're not working that skill. They don't even consider the skill because everything is off these numbers. The number system on the internet, it's views, crazy. Follows, everything in that. It's the lie of the lens, is what I call it. It's like everybody's trying to, you know, this is where it counts. This is where it matters. We'll deal with that when it presents itself.
What about? How do you perform for an audience that's just standing there looking at you? Like, there's no vibe. There's no, and I mean, most of these local shows, they're not blasting the music. It's not like a professional concert. Like a professional concert, you could barely hear when you walk out of it because the music is so banging. So it's like the music's not banging, there's no crowd interaction. People just standing around staring at you. So I'm just going to get up, rap, walk around, perform, and that's it. Like, I don't understand how people are happy with that.
Because we're in a
different time.
in the lens. Yeah. It's safe to be in that lens, in that box, brother. It's safe to be there, not given to a lot. You can be famous from falling on your ass. We could go outside. If it's a winter day, we go outside, we walking, we talking shit, and you slip and fall on your ass. If I caught that on camera, I can boomerang that. I can put a little song around it, and you just like, and I can put that in the world, and people like, flip.
Yeah. And now you got paid.
And now you got paid for falling on your ass. You got humiliated for falling on your ass.
Yeah.
You're recognized for nothing else you did but falling on your ass.
And they done made
somebody who edited and crafted and made it creative, clever, and funny off your demise. We don't know. We're not even thinking about your back. We don't think if that caused some kind of like medical bills. Yeah. We're not thinking about you might not be walking the same. We're not thinking about it after you put the edit and put it in the box. You're done with it. You keep it moving. So to project and to be out here in front of people is a risk. It's too much. The anxiety is up. Because now somewhere in that room with these people, there's somebody holding up a camera that is a window to millions of people, you know? The access and the ability to millions of people. Even though that person they can generate 3 or 4. Still just the concept of from that point off, the whole world can have a chance, an opportunity to see you. If they just go through the proper channels to find you off that video. And that's scary. Extremely. And people don't even talk about it. But that's why we feel safe to write, record, and edit, you know?
Yeah.
So now that you have a thing like what I have, where you got to be in the room, you got to feel it out, and you have to be in real time, no matter what, because you're still spinning the wheel. Yeah. And it might not land. You work so hard on your written storytelling all day, and it doesn't even land, bro. It doesn't even land. So what do you do with that story, though? You record it. You go home and you write it, you record it, and you edit it. That's why I always said I felt like Rhyme Calisthenics was better for the culture than like battle rap, because Real Deal can't go do a show and be like, hey, y'all want to hear my second verse? That when I beat Arsenal, y'all want to hear that verse? People are going to be like, no. If I want to do that, I'll just go look it up on YouTube and re-enjoy that. But you can't perform that. You can't perform a bunch of battle acapellas, you know? But if storytelling doesn't land, you can do that. It can become a song, you know?
Yeah,
it becomes material.
John Quest did that with Last Word?
Yeah.
That's the thing. Okay, so concept of Rhyme Cal was birthed from, we want an entertaining show.
Yeah, that's what keep people
indoors.
Yeah, willing for people to stop that, you performed, and then he goes outside, then your people, they're going to still be like, nah, because Stretch is funny. They got all these like sound triggers, and this wheel is interesting, and it just, the randomness of it is so entertaining.
Yeah.
And the skill of everybody being on the synergy that it funnels everybody in. Mm-hmm. Because we don't know what's going to happen. So that's the manipulative part of the event, is the interaction. Everybody kind of has a stake because we're all on the same playing field. That's what makes the exposure. So it makes it real scary because nobody knows what's going to happen.
So let's take this time to dive in and explain exactly what it is, because like this whole conversation we've been going as if we're talking to like Rhyme Cal people.
People that already know what it is.
So for any of the audience members that are new, maybe they're not from Pittsburgh, never heard of it or whatever, what exactly is Rhyme Calisthenics?
I like to call it the official Emcee competition first.
Okay.
Like they want to call it a rap competition. A lot of people think it's a freestyle competition. That element is in there, but it's an MC competition.
Okay.
Because what we are really training is master of ceremony. And the person who's the master of ceremony is a person who can be able to control a crowd, be able to control a room off the whim, rehearsed or not rehearsed. Because you can rehearse to your heart desire what happens if things get off course in real time. We're not promised the next second, you know? So to be able to adapt is a key element of emceeing within this hip hop culture. And that's what we kind of exploit, entertain, and show, develop, and enrich. That's what Rhyme Calisthenics is. And it's still based off chance, because you got to spin the wheel. And it's based off all the elements of lyricism and emceeing. So we're talking about writing structure. We're talking about freestyle structure. We're talking about emceeing, delivery. It's all like in there.
So walk me through, let's just say, let's say you're a contestant on Rhyme Calisthenics, and let's say I'm running it, and I hit you up and I say, hey, Stretch, we want you to be a contestant on Rhyme Cal.
Yeah.
Knowing what you know and how it operates the same exact way. What are you thinking? How do you prep and what do you do? Like, walk me through it through a contestant's eyes.
All right, so we're going to send you the definitions of all the challenges and what we're looking for, the requirements to even pass that challenge, you know, and being measured between 1 to 10. And you just got to kind of challenge yourself and be prepared for each challenge that's presented.
Are there different challenges for each event?
There's like 20 challenges, you know.
So is it like 20 total that are on the wheel, or is it like
12
on the wheel? Okay.
Yeah, there's 12 that hold it, but sometimes when it lands too much, that kind of gets boring. We don't want to see that again. I'll take it off and I'll put another one up there, you know?
Okay.
So you have your basics that, first of all, everything, if you are a rapper and you call yourself an MC, you should have all of this in your arsenal. So it's really exposed. We're going to expose you, you know?
Right.
And that was a big challenge from bringing it here in Pittsburgh, because a lot of people talk a lot of smack, like how it's so easy to say that you're the illest and I can do this and do that until you're up front and center and you got to produce that, you know?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of people that there's a lot more talk than actual steps, you know?
Right.
But everything that's on the wheel is required to be a well-rounded MC.
Okay.
You know? So you have your basic ones. We have a cappella, that's easy. Storytelling. You should have written about a story. You should be able to tell a story through your rhyme. You know, I feel like that should be an album standard. At least these are the kind of things that we used to have in the 90s.
Right.
Now, if you listen to an album, pretty much every artist that you liked had a story on there somewhere, you know? Some artists better than others. There's one last word. That's a writing one. And that's all about your end rhyme. So your end of your measure, your end of your bar, it should rhyme. Should always line up for the whole rhyme. That's just a writing exercise.
So is it like each bar should rhyme, or like literally the end of every bar, to where the end of your first bar should still rhyme with the end of your last bar?
the end of your last bar.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
So when you're lining up your lines, it should land on that for 16. And that just shows, you know, you can do it in its most basic form, or you can like alliterate, you know, you can do alliteration leading up to your end rhyme. There's a couple ways that you can kind of like play with it, but make sure you land it. And that's where we measure you on, you know, judging you.
Right.
Because there's people that they could do it and it's be super basic, but then we'll give you a basic, you know, score.
Right.
So that's writing structure. Those are like my writing challenges. Also, the message is another writing challenge where you gotta rap about something conscious. I like to describe it as something that you're willing to fight for, something that you stand by, something that you stand on, you know, in this world. That's what the message is. That's what we want to hear.
Right.
What do you stand on? What do you believe in? And the impact that you have in your delivery for that topic.
Right.
Then you have your freestyle challenges. So you got crowd topics. That's that interaction. That's what I'm saying. That's that aspect that makes the audience a part of the show.
That I think I seen a video uploaded of Mac Miller doing that.
Yeah, he did crowd topics. Well, he did Here and Now, I think. But he probably did that too, but the classic ones was him doing Here and Now. He did a mirror match, and he did DJ's Revenge.
Okay.
But crowd topics, I usually go to the audience and get 3 topics. And then, and that's just entertaining in itself to see what people are going to say and what I choose. But then they have to rap about that topic, stay on topic as best they can. That's the freestyle element of it. Another one is Here and Now, where you literally got to use. That's the one Mac Miller.
You rap about as you're rapping.
You just got to use your surroundings. However, he decided to take things from the audience and pay homage to Super Nat when he did it.
Yeah.
So. But you can rap about the ring, rap about my shirt, my pink hoodie, here and now, like an official freestyle or official what Big Daddy Kane say off the top. We have another one, grab bag. You got to rap about stuff in the bag. Word bank. You got to freestyle about some words. So you literally have to read and freestyle and use those words.
Right.
So those are my freestyle competitions. Then you have the delivery based ones. We have beats in 3. So 3/4 measure, which is really rare in hip hop because everything's on a 4/4. But this is the one beat we used to always use was Spaceship by Kanye.
So these are over instrumentals?
Yeah, we would go over instrumentals. We would have a DJ there.
Okay.
I'm changing it now because we're relaunching it to be a little bit to try to help this whole writing, recording, edit era that we're in.
Right.
So I'm trying to make it a little bit more accessible and less scary for the artist. But back in the day, back in 06, 07, you had to not only write, but you had to make that verse fit to whatever beat DJ Huggy was gonna play.
Right.
But we would always play hit songs, in beats that were familiar to the audience. And that was another reason to keep people engaged. You still get these familiarities, you get this wheel, you get the bloopers, you got me cracking jokes, you got a serious side to it because the judges are giving intelligent critiques and everybody is learning. But it's an enrichment program and it's a development program. It's not necessarily set up for everybody to win, but it's definitely set up for everybody to take their craft to another level,
Sharpen skills.
And definitely sharpen skills. That's why I was saying at the beginning of this, I got a lot of guys that were all right. They were passionate about this. They definitely like Mac Miller leveled up. We had him at 17, and it's 300 people in the Shadow Lounge, and he's up there trying to navigate. So just imagine him playing this at 17. It's nothing to him to go up on stage and do his songs that he worked on in the studio.
Yeah.
For thousands of people, because all he has to do is focus on his music, his beats. That's easy,
It's almost literally like a workout.
It's clearly a workout.
I feel like the practice it takes to be good at Rhyme Cal, to be we'll say prepared, even if you don't win. Everything that you do, the writing, the reciting, the practice. Everything that you're putting in to be good at Rhyme Cal makes you a dope MC.
There's no way out of it.
Nice. Okay, so back to the Stretch is a contestant. So show starts. What happens?
The show starts. Since it's so competitive, we used to have some things, to always trigger the audience to keep them engaged. This is theater, but we're in Pittsburgh, so this is not used to anything like this. So we're going extra strong. So I'll start with that classic NFL, that I would have Shay play that loud, and then horn, them Jamaican horns, right underneath it. Just to get people rallied up, I would scream out names or coming to get people coming in. And let's go off the old version since we're talking, because things have changed and this system has adapted and evolved into some other things.
Okay.
So the original show was 16 men. We had 16 MCs, right?
Okay.
We would do them in brackets of 4. All right. We got a lot better at breaking down to make the system to have a better storyboard, because we kept on fixing our mistakes as we kept doing Rhyme Cals.
Right.
So let's say I'm playing, right? We're still on that concept. So say I'm the champion. And what I mean by this is 4 MCs on stage at one time. Mm-hmm. So we had a tier system. And tier 1, we used to call him the champion. That's the guy that's probably going to win the round, right?
Okay.
Then we had the contender. That's the second seat. Best chance he can win the round, and if the wheel works in his favor, he can knock out the champion. We expect these 2 guys to pass. Then there's the third guy, who is the wild card. Like, if it, lands in his favor, he can get past and do an upset on these 2 guys that we're pretty sure, are nice with it. And then we had the 4th seat, which is the sacrificial lamb. That's what we used to call him. And this is the guy who is like friends to the girl that came to Rhyme Cal 3 and be like, "Ooh, my cousin would kill at this." And we have no background of this guy. We don't know who he is.
Hold on, couple questions for this. So, would you tell them like what they are?
No, or I'm just giving you some. This is how we used to set them up.
Is this before the contest?
Yeah, we would have me and James would
assume who's what.
Like, all right, let's do the rounds.
So, did you ever have a sacrificial lamb win?
Zone. Zone.
Wow.
Came up and upset the whole thing.
That's crazy.
And it was off my boy Mike, who kept like, "Yo, my boy will kill it." Same thing. My boy, my boy will light him up. And I'm like, okay, but I don't know him, and it's 16. We're in Pittsburgh, so you know the flakiness level. Some people are gonna fall out. So we would always go in with like a 25 MC. We would try to get access to 25 people because we knew people were gonna fall off day of. It's just, so we understood that. So we made sure there would be like this secret VIP thing that I would do. Like, look, just come to Rhyme Cal. You don't have to, I'll put your name on the thing. Just come, because I don't know what's going to happen. You might have to jump in because there's so many people. I can't make it. I ain't get no ride, this, that. And we had to like always, to keep the show going, we had to keep 16,
to kind of like alternates.
I just had alternates at that point because Pittsburgh, cats are flaky,
Side topic. I have to know. So the one that I went to.
Yeah.
John Quest was there.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, John Quest did, what was his name? The Beamer something business.
Yeah, he did cameo.
Yeah. Black Sun won.
Yeah.
But I want to say
he got to the finals with Black Sun.
Yeah. Yes. John Quest did.
Yes.
Mr. Scrap and Ajax were also in it.
Yeah, so we threw the hat.
Black Sun, what was he in that tier system?
Champion.
Okay. Ajax?
Oh, it's contender.
Contender. Interesting. Scrap?
Contender.
Contender. And Quest, contender or champion?
At that time?
Yeah.
At this show?
At this specific show?
Wild card.
Really?
Yes.
That is interesting. And
sorry.
Listen, this is not at all for like a viral moment or anything.
Yeah.
Just me as a hip hop fan and a fan of all of these guys. I want to understand, I guess, more like the mind of Stretch and what's going on behind Rhyme Cal. Like during that moment as you're watching it. Was Varsity Squad a thing at the time?
They put it all together there. Quest, Med Shade, they end up linking up. Crestman Shade, and then it was Getting with Beatty, and then they all became, because we did a 4 versus 4 when they were shooting a video for the Shadow Lounge.
Okay.
So they kind of all came together at that time at the Shadow Lounge and became a group.
This is a thing. This is kind of like a side topic, but just the culture of Pittsburgh hip hop, like being a part of it, and especially having this platform where I'm interviewing people and I'm learning all the stories, in addition to my own experiences, where, we have our Mac Millers and Wiz Khalifas that we've all experienced somehow on a local level. Yeah. But at the same time, we have the people that didn't reach stardom that, I look up to. Like you, for example, like literally sitting across from you at this table, as I told many other people, but you specifically are like someone that I looked up to because you're older than me, and I had no idea at the time that you were just starting out. To me, it was like, this is like back in the Laga days. Like, this is a polished dude, has his group together. I'm literally just starting, to really perform in front of people within the past year or two, before that Laga date. And it was like, wow, they are doing it. Like, and I've always looked at you like that. Like, this guy's older than me. He's been doing it.
I appreciate that. Sometimes I forget how people are looking at people,
and that goes to the energy again. So, like, when I seen you at the show and tell thing, like, Joe, that's straight. Yeah. And my wife was there too, and I'm like, baby, this is stretch right here. Like, bro,
I'm still trying to work on how to accept that.
Bro. So like when I asked you to sign the thing, like that was truly like from a fan. Like,
I appreciate that, bro. I appreciate it. Makes my work feel like it's not for, not going under vein or not being seen or recognized,
That's what's up.
I'm trying to be in a position now, that I'm older and with Rhyme Cal trying to bring it back, is just to be, I don't want to call it a gatekeeper. I don't like the word gatekeeper, but like just a threshold, like maybe a monolith, this is an opportunity for you to get better and sharper if people can get over, the work and, being insecure.
Yeah.
And putting your work at display if you're going to take this seriously. Because I've exposed a lot of people. There was a lot of bloopers. I remember me and James, we were like, we're never going to expose people failing on stage. And there's a lot of footage of people, but we never wanted that, and we never wanted that. We only wanted to like show success and people doing well.
There's a lot of good in that though. Like, it shows the human side of it. Because I feel like for me in my career, I've always wanted to explain to people, and maybe it's easier for some people than it is for others, but for me, the stage fright never left. And I've performed probably, I don't know if it was 100 times total, but like a lot. Yeah. In major arenas, everything else. Like, the stage fright never leaves. There's fumbling over words. There's forgetting words. You've practiced 100 times over and over, and the one time you least expect, you're going to fuck around and forget. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you just have to, for emceeing and for freestyling, you just kind of have to maneuver and be alive and just figure it out and be like, well, it's too late now. Yeah. I don't have no problem being on stage, but I have a serious I have screen phobia. I don't like footage. I don't know. I'm not going to watch this until December.
That's crazy.
I don't like the screens. I don't like the lens. I like real live rooms. Yeah. But now me talking about it out now, I've had so much time. Yeah. Just bringing it back to the forefront and bringing it on the table about talking about like weekly, daily. I'm on stage in these little rooms freestyling and just 14th Street in New York with the ciphers would just migrate and happen. I was out there and then coming here and bringing that. So, and that's what we're just trying to sharpen with Rhyme Cal, and I think we kind of lost that with this, with this whole write, record, and edit era that we live in. We're super disattached.
I want to get more into what, I guess, the future and the changes you're making for Rhyme Cal, and then what your goals are. The last part that I really wanted to dive into
I
about.
told you the tears. Oof.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
So about what Rhyme Cal is or how it started. How do you win? How's a contestant?
All right, so yeah, that's the tiers. We have 4 come on stage, and we have 3 judges, and of course, it's 1 to 10. 2 with the highest scores, they go to the next round.
Okay.
All right, so
How do they get a score?
they have to spin the wheel with it and do the challenge, and then they have to judge.
So there's like people judging.
Yeah, we have like 3 eligible, respectful judges. They have a, they have a resume that puts them in that position to be heard. They're either teachers or they're artists themselves, in a level of professional in hip hop culture and have an ear for this thing, so they can make intelligent judgments.
Right.
They have 1 to 10, 2 with the highest scores. They go to the next round. Say 2 tied, they're just going to the next round. There's no reason to tie break because we're taking the 2. If there's a 3-way tie, then we have to spin again. I'll probably do 1 and they have to probably do in comparison, because it's not fair as it is, because who to say that a freestyle here and now is better than macking,
Right.
But that's why we have judges and not let the audience decide. But we take the 2 and then we move to the playoffs. And then in the playoffs, I would spin the wheel and then they would all have to do it. So there'd only be 1. It would be 1 challenge,
Right.
So it'd be judged by comparison. So now the first round was going through these 4 rounds and trying to keep it moving, spin the wheel. If something lands too much, this is the moment I'll take it down and put something else. I have 4 other challenges, and you're just at the mercy of your spin.
Right.
So whatever happens, it happens. Then the playoffs is the 8 from the 4-4. And then that was comparison. And then the final round, we call it the final 4, was, I think we switched it because we used to let them do whatever they wanted on the wheel, and then we would end the last 2 with a battle. We did that for 4 of them. We're battle, and then we would let the audience decide. But that was bad because it's 1 challenge, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So the person that is what happens when you have this impeccable writer that can write and who's real good and can kind of freestyle, but doesn't battle, don't got that kind of he's not aggressive, and it all ends on 1 challenge.
Right.
So we decided, we did that at first because it just made sense and people want to see blood. We like conflict in hip hop. We love that. That's why we got battles still today.
Right.
But it doesn't really represent what this is. So we had to make that change. Okay. So we start treating the final 4 as the person with the highest points up to that point gets to pick somebody on that stage, whatever they're going to do. It's well, I don't say me and you are in the final 4. I got the highest points going into the final 4, right? And I'm you got 2 freestyles in your round. I saw you got freestyles through close to playoffs. So you got lucky, but let's see if you got a last word. Let's see if you actually wrote for this event. I'm going to say you got last word, and then that's what you got to do.
So
and then when you go, you got to, from the last 2, you got to figure out, you're a nerd, so let's do macking, because I think you're a nerd, and you're not going to be able to, and you size the man up, and you give them something on the wheel that you think that might hinder them.
Right.
And kind of judge them. And that's theater in itself.
I like that. It kind of reminds me of drama class.
Yeah.
Where, improv and
it's drama
stuff.
hip hop. It is theater,
So, if someone gets last word, early in the contest.
Yeah.
And they spit a last word, rhyme that they written.
Yeah.
We get to that final round or whatever, and I'd be do last word, because I feel
final 4.
you
That's
use
not the final, but yeah.
Like,
yeah, you're in trouble.
Yeah. Okay. So in preparing for it, it's probably best for you to have 2 or 3 for every.
And you should just have this stuff.
Yeah.
Because like John Quest, he had a last word. He never got a chance to use it. He got with Rex, and he made a video.
So.
And he put out material.
How long do you have to prep for this?
As long as you need, brother.
I mean, like, okay, so
we're usually, when we used to do them, they were like, and they were strong local events. We got to a point, when we got to like Rhyme Cal 5 or 6, people were already like excited about it. Because it is entertaining, and it's the storyboard, the up and down, the funny, the dopeness, the resilient, all this stuff came with this show. And being able to be interactive, you know, we would take like 3 or 4 months to let people know, at least not even let the audience, not let the customers know that, hey, we're about to do a Rhyme Cal. But even before that, we would reach out like, Quest, we're about to do another one in July, or so it gives chance people to get ready. And, you know, sorry to say, I just never got it to such a big level where the money or what you can win with the prize, because we were just giving out 500, you know, and working it off the door. To really push that envelope to make you really prepare. Like, I really want this to be a big platform so people can really take it serious. I don't think I've only had like maybe 8 people really take this seriously.
You know what?
And it shows. You can see it separated from everybody else that played.
Because this is your thing, there's nothing like it. I feel like I can give you this on camera and no one can steal it.
Okay.
It's nothing proprietary about it, but I feel like you should tour with it.
Well, that's in the plans.
It is? That was literally what I was thinking. Like,
but I think I have to fall back on that, because we have to remember we are in this write, record, edit world, and they're not even touring it. Certain cities, but overall, like, people are having a hard time with this kind of exposure this thing does to a person.
What if you just picked out specific artists that you could tour with?
Oh yeah, then it's Whose Lines Anyway? Yeah, the Whose Lines Anyway.
Yeah, exactly, or you know, like how they have comedy tour or whatever.
Yeah, the rap Harlem Globetrotters, yeah.
And you just take the people along with you or whatever, and you meet other artists along the way that you might be able to add for a later show or something.
Yeah.
That or
later.
Or treat it like it is an act itself. So like, instead of actual touring, if you went to local places, so like a local car or club or bar or something that hires bands. You know, like there's places that hire bands that come play.
We'd be a gig, yeah. We're a gig, yeah.
Actual gig, like, look, pay us to come do this event. You know, get a residency somewhere, maybe a few different places, and I don't know. Like, my mind is like running.
No, I know.
I'm sure you probably thought of 1,000 of these.
I feel like I have the new way I want to approach this thing.
Yeah,
and that is there's a whole bunch of ways to do this thing, because it's still an interactive, you know, entity. So I get to adapt to a room, but I just did one for the draft, you know.
Yeah. Oh man, and you know what? I'm so sorry. I apologize.
The draft was really busy.
A few things went on. So Dre hit me up.
Yeah.
Which I forgot to mention. Dre. Dre has been my homie since 2000, 99, maybe 2000, 2001.
Yeah.
We all worked. I don't know if he worked there. Yeah, he did. We all worked at Dish Network. Yeah. It was me, him, Kareem, Yusuf, like all their brothers were there.
Okay.
And I met the whole Orphanage Foundation, started, you know, hanging out with them, making music with them and stuff like that. Dre, when he came out with his Tribal Dog, Tribal Kitty, stuff like that. I can't remember if I bought it or if he gave it to me, but I had a whole box of his shirts. Like, bro, give me that. Started giving them away at my shows and stuff. Like, that's been my bro. So Dre, I've been speaking to him about this podcast, like literally since I started. Okay. And he's been giving me tips and advice on like video editing.
Well, that's what's up.
And he told me about it. He's like, bro, we doing Rhyme Cal.
Mm.
And he's like, come on, bro, like, you got to show up. He was asking me, like,
Yeah, we filmed the whole thing, helped me out big time.
Yeah.
He's moving back to the city, and then we're really going to get into it. Yeah, we're getting back in, we're relaunching this thing and getting back into it. But we're just trying to get to a point where, I mean, I'm just going to keep it honest. You probably can clip this. I think for the hip hop scene in this city and what I'm seeing, I think Rhyme Cal needs to fall back on the adults and where they're at. I think they're just they're too far gone off of being able to do this or have any kind of dedication to this system. Because I'm seeing it takes a lot to do this. It's a heavy thing to do.
So, like, the more, now that we're older and we have responsibilities, jobs, kids and stuff, it's like too much of a heavy load to...
No, not for me. I mean, for my partners, you know, my schedule's clear. All I do is work, and then I go home and I work.
Well, contestant,
I work on this.
Contestant and competition-wise.
But contestant-wise, on the just kind of find somebody to be a contestant, I think it really needs to be a curriculum, and I need to teach this thing now. That's where I've learned in my travels with this. Like, it's more impactful to work with kids and start developing kids with this, because all those exercises that come with this, you know, can just shape you as a person, shape your discipline, because it takes a lot. I'm ideally asking for too much. I mean, just with that list of things, you got to write this, you got to have this, you got to have that. And I'm thinking in my mind, as an MC, you know, and being an artist, you should have this anyway. So I don't when I talk to another rapper about this, I'm like, you should already have this. You should have this, right? You said you're an artist, right? You should have all of the stuff. And people don't. They don't have all these elements, you know.
Are they?
And really not freestyling. And really not being in a room where people are gonna like size you up. It's a vulnerable state.
I remember a time in the 2010s-ish when I would work with artists and they would come to the studio reading off their phones or paper, and they're fumbling, trying to record their verse and fumbling over words and stuff. And I'm like, bro, you supposed to know this. Like, you supposed to have this damn near memorized before you come. And I would give them certain techniques, like, you know, breathe right here, say this instead of that.
Yeah.
And their response was always like, you know, why are you teaching me? Like, it's not like a Mr. Miyagi type thing. Like, I'm not doing it like you old heads used to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where now I feel like, are there MCs anymore? I mean, I know there are, but new age coming up, it feels like most of them aren't.
It's based on who they're around, but it's minimal. You can just see it you can see it. You see it when you see the footage. I just saw I think it's the roll up. I saw some clips online of the roll up tour or roll out tour 2026, and they're just, every song sound the same, every, you know, beat sound the same. It's something about not being authentic, you know, and not being, you know, it's just record, write, and edit, you know. Okay. Record, recite, edit.
So according to Stretch, what is the need? What is what's the draw for a rapper? Say today's rapper. You're I don't know. I don't even know most of the rappers neither, right now. It's the name I can think of, Lil Uzi. What would be the draw for Lil Uzi to have in his arsenal all the tools that Rhyme Calisthenics could prepare within him? Like, why, let's just say I'm a new age rapper, right? Mm-hmm. Why do I want these tools in my arsenal?
I mean, it's going to help you perform. It's going to help you stand in front of people. It's going to help your writing structure. It's going to help you stay on topic. You know, it's going to help you. It's identity strengthening. Mm-hmm. That is the biggest thing that we have to deal with. And here's a good example, because I'm focused on the curriculum right now, and I had some help. And now that we're going into the educational space, I've got these are Rhyme Calisthenics primary colors, all right? And I broke it up into like a 3-month program. So this is what Little Uzi is going to get from this program. My three primary colors for rap and for emceeing is content. The other one is being creative and being authentic, which is identity.
Okay.
And then the third one is delivery.
Okay.
So the content is the words, the language, and understanding the structure of creative writing and what a simile is, what a metaphor is, and be able to understand the tools that you have to use to rap, no matter how Little Uzi wants to do it. But these are the tools of content you need to understand, you know? Then the next element is how we apply your character and your knowledge of self to these tools.
So like your brand?
It could be that. But it's your character. It's who you are, your identity. How do you use these tools of content to describe that and relay that message through just the pen? That's what I was saying when Scrap was saying in here. He's like, it's more than just the words.
Right.
But these things these are your primary colors to make anything, your own thing on it. And then the last one is your delivery, which is how are you going to recite it? How are you going to project it? And what's it going to sound like once it comes from here to you? How are you expected to be received? Your delivery, your like you said, breathing techniques and all that.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be an old school thing. And I'm not like, you can have whatever sequence you want, as long as you understand the content and using the tools of language creatively, as long as you have an understanding of self and be able to use these tools to express yourself and to describe whatever you're describing based off your background and who you are, and then how you deliver it, how your voice sounds, how you, that's what it takes to be a rapper. And that's what Little Uzi, that's what you get from doing this.
So let's just say you had an artist like, you heard Chief Keef before, right?
Yeah, I heard Chief Keef.
Chief Keef, the rapping sounding like offbeat kind of.
Yeah.
Or like a Silk the Shocker or something.
Yeah.
Is that an artist that would go through that and you'd be like, no, you got to fix that? Or is it like purely subjective where, you could be completely offbeat and just have a new style?
It's purely subjective. In this curriculum, it's fine, because I guess the offbeat, the subject matter, what you're saying, lands into that second category of his character. This is in his character, this is his brand, this is in his style that he's chosen to be a little bit offbeat, to be a little bit messy with the rhyme, with your rhyme alignment, which is something that's gonna be on the table.
Right.
Now, in life, you do what you want, but if you come into the Rhyme Cal universe, you're gonna be ridiculed for that, because that's gonna be points. Like, look, I'm gonna give you these couple extra points because I obviously see who you are. You made it very clear that you are Chief Keef, and you are a little bit different from all these other artists.
Right.
But your rhyme alignment, how you align and your delivery lined up with the beat is a little bit, off. So I'm gonna take a couple points off of that, because you're not lined up I wish I could see you a little bit more lined up, but hey, you're still doing your thing and you're standing on that. I'll give you a 7,
Okay.
And that's how you take these 3 primary colors, and this is how we can get, because what I want Rhyme Calisthenics to eventually achieve is, I want people to stop not explaining why something is whack. You ever notice somebody plays something and then they're just like, yo, that's whack, yo. And then you're like, why? And people are like, man, I just don't like it, man. I don't fuck with it, man. It's trash, bro.
Yeah.
He ain't saying nothing.
Yeah.
And like, well, what's the science of whack? What is the science of your ear, what you're looking for? And then hip hop is what, 52 now, our culture?
About that, yeah.
It's hip to, so, and I want to say the first 5 years, it wasn't rap for our hip hop culture. So the rapping part of it is even younger than that.
Yeah.
But we're at a place where this culture, at least for rap and for creative writing, should have a science attached to it.
I agree. There's definitely, I mean, like, for example, Lil Uzi. I've heard people argue back and forth and say Lil Uzi is way better than Andre 3000.
Wow.
Like, straight arguments. And I get it, it's subjective. Me, as an MC that actually knows about the skill, not the art, not the creativity, not the vibe of it, but the actual skill that it takes for you to practice. And because, like, me as an MC, I'm the guy that I would read through the thesaurus and dictionary and try to learn different words.
Yeah.
And as I'm writing, it's like I was blown away by Nas's Reverse song.
Yeah.
So as I'm writing,
that's like a Rhyme Cal 10. That's a lecture. That's a conversation we have to have with young people. But go ahead.
I'm like a papoose type.
Yeah.
In terms of,
rap tricks.
Yeah, I want to use the alphabet. I want to rhyme every third bar. I want to tell a story from this perspective instead of that. Like, every new song that I would write, even though there was a concept, it had certain things that I would write in the lyrics or ways that I would write the lyrics that was like a new challenge to me. Like, can I do it this way? Can I do it that way? And I always felt like that's what an MC is supposed to do. They're supposed to challenge themselves as they're doing it. It's like like I'm competing against my last rhyme almost, when there's no other rapper in the room for me to compete with. When you have an artist or an MC that you know is like that pushes themselves on every rhyme, and they're going against a dude that's just, I'm gonna just say whatever, and if it sounds good, it sounds good. And somebody is advocating like, that dude is way better than the MC. Like, what are you talking about? Like,
but we're only dealing. This is the problem, and I'm gonna say this on. This is good. I think like this is a good clip. Hip hop culture is the most American culture that America has. I'm gonna stand on that. Right?
Okay.
So, because it bit from everything else. It's about biting. It's about content, how you take something from somewhere else and, you put it together. You're measuring this off a skill, and you don't have a skill book to back this up. You're just saying that. Right. And that's how you measure it, and that's what you're into. But not everybody's into it. Not everybody's looking at it like that.
Right.
So we're talking about music, and a lot of people take the hip hop culture and writing and MCing, and they just put it in the music batch, and that's where we get lost in translation. So when you're saying this skill to somebody else, they're like, "You're crazy. This makes me feel good." It's all the whole package that has happened now. It's the aesthetic, it's the videos, it's him, what he's saying, his character, all that. And you're not coming from that kind of background, so the lines can get blurry, and we can be confused. But if you look from where we started, we were, and I'm talking about the 80s and the 90s, it was also like a pastime for us. Right. Whereas we don't have that anymore.
That's true.
And the reason why you think like that, because you were participating in this activity. You just said in the beginning of this interview, they would be ciphering. I didn't even know who they were, but I would get in like, ooh. So you're in this culture where you feel like you're allowed to just run up on some dudes and just oppose yourself in the cipher. Who are you? Like, who are you to just come in? Who invited you? That culture and the way we were living invited you. So you didn't even have to ask, can I jump in? You know what I'm saying?
That's a weird concept.
And that's how you were measuring how you were brought up and how you looked at it and how you were competing.
Yeah.
I like to say it like, you ever see Doctor Strange, the first Doctor Strange?
Yeah.
So You remember the Ancient One made the whole mirror realm?
Yeah.
It's like, let's make the mirror realm and let's practice.
Yeah.
And I feel like for hip hop and for MCing and for rapping, that can happen. You know, you can be in the real world. And then as an MC, you're in this other, like, you're in this realm where you can get it popping.
Yeah.
In the real world, me and you are friends.
Yeah.
In this hip hop world, in this cypher, I'm watching you.
Yeah.
What you gonna say?
Yeah.
You ain't gonna do it like I do it.
Yeah.
What's up? You know, and there's this animosity, there's this competition. And it's all respect.
Yeah.
I remember Scrap, I didn't think Scrap liked me. I didn't think Masai liked. I thought these dudes hated me back in that day. There's a story of me and Scrap was down at the O, and we're doing the ciphers, you know, and he was getting off on it, you know, in the cipher, but I was too. You interviewed Scrap. You know how he gets down.
Yeah.
That wasn't enough for him. Right?
Yeah.
He needed to dominate.
Yeah.
And he didn't. I walk up to the towers. I turn around, he's right behind me, like, what's up? What's up? And me and him start battling. We're just battling in the lobby.
Just
of the
y'all
tower.
two? No,
yes.
nobody else?
Near that little table and the little chair right there near the door.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just him. He's like, what's up? And and I'm like, well, and it's just me. It's just
With no
now
one to
you in
judge.
the real world and you got some girls, right? And these college people are walking around like, what is wrong? They don't even go to school here.
Right.
And it's like 2:00 at night. I done missed the Hamilton
Last
71D. I missed it. I got to figure out how to get home. And this dude, but I wouldn't let that go. Because this dude is in my face.
Yeah.
And we're lyrically fighting. And I think we have beef. I think we have a problem, but we don't. And now that I'm grown, he's my barber. He's one of my best friends.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was respect.
Yeah.
And he respected me. That's why it didn't sit with him.
Right.
You know, to him to have that cipher and me just walk away. Like, nah, I gotta defeat these dudes. And that's how he operates in the cipher. Everybody kind of operates their own way in this cipher, in this element.
Right.
And some people, they're charged by taking everybody's head, being the best. Some people are just charged of being funny and being witty. Some people are charged by, hey, look at me, I'm cool, I can rap. You know, like, hey, I'm fly. You know, look at me, I'm the flyest guy. You know, so everybody has their own agenda in these ciphers, and you got to share this space and get it popping. It's this like altered universe. And then this altered universe is so amazing that it ended up being pretty much caught up in music. The only time we really see this is in music. So we're getting it mixed up. I feel like hip hop culture implemented the music industry. But hip hop culture and rapping and MC is not completely music shit. It's not, you know, and that's where you have a problem. And these kids, since this era that we had, and we were trying to figure this out because we're like 30 years. No, there's like 20 years by the time hip hop gets to the 90s out of New York, and it's breaking out, and it hit us the same way it hit everybody else at this time. And then the music industry controlled it. Yeah. So now up to now, it's just some music shit. And we've lost. The lines have gotten blurry now, and the kids don't know that this is a culture, and rap has a culture attached to it on how you rap and why you write. Because you weren't writing. I bet you back then you wasn't writing to become the next Snoop Dogg. You were kind of writing so you could be iller than. When you finally run into that cipher that you might run, you have bars and you're ready and you're ready for this little small room.
Yeah, so I patterned myself, I want to say my early years, Wu-Tang, a lot of Wu-Tang influence.
A lot of Wu-Tang too.
And it was literally, I just wanted to be the best I could be. Yeah. But now that you're saying that, like as I'm listening to you, I understand the culture of it.
Yeah.
I want to say like, it was something to do.
Yeah.
It wasn't just I want to do this to make money. It wasn't just like a potential thing for me to get attention. In fact, I want to say I didn't even connect it to attention. Like that was never a thing for me when I was younger. It was simply, I want to rap because I love to do it. If I record it, I could sell CDs and make money. I wasn't thinking about, I mean, of course the idea of being famous.
That comes with it, but your first is like, I'm impressed by this, and I think I can be impressive too.
But it was fun.
And it was fun.
And like, you go over a friend's house or your sister or something like that, and it's a barbecue, somebody's party, and music is playing. And, you know, me and my brother-in-law, best friend at the time, were just hanging out, and one of the older, you know, my aunt or somebody, let's hear him rap.
Yep.
Freestyle, kick something, yo, beatbox. And all of a sudden, everyone is like entertained and listening. And it has nothing to do with like trying to be famous numbers, or making money.
Views and
none of that.
And all of these things kind of drowned out that passion. That just that general passion of us just doing it, and that it being normal. It died. It slowly died. The more, I mean, I know you've watched the Diddy. Look what he did. He had all these great artists in the '90s, and then all this fuck shit came out. So what'd he do? He ended up going to MTV and just making a show of it. You know, and it just got out of control. And the music industry. Like I tell my team, like, moving forward, Rhyme Calisthenics is going to be competing with the music industry. This is not a thing for the music industry.
Right.
This is a thing for lyricists within hip-hop culture and trying to get back to that. That's what I'm saying. I can't really get into it with guys that already are rapper out because they're already in this way of thinking. This is another, I'm trying to set up this to be another platform. That's what I'm saying. We're trying to work with kids into college. If this can become a development, then you can be moving forward. I'm trying to set up an infrastructure out of Pittsburgh, which is tough because I feel like I can maybe pull this off in another city, but the infrastructure where you can stay in this hip hop culture, you can stay in this lyricism, and it be like the NFL. And you can learn all these tools to be an artist. And then out of high school, you can take all the game because there's so much game to it. Because the same person that has the ability to freestyle in the living room or at a party, like, yo, freestyle, has the ability to be strong enough to be a podcast, to be a journalist, to be an announcer on a show.
Right.
To become a pro wrestler, to become a politician, to become a mayor. You know, to be a manager of a restaurant, just to be the ability to think on your feet and be strong and to be able to execute things.
Right.
And use your language in your advantage and know who you are as an individual, which is now gold. It's like gold to really know who you are and be an individual.
That's extremely rare. Yeah.
I had this one, I'm not going to say her name, but I had her come to my house. My one boy, I'm not going to say anybody's names, but we were just listening to music. And she said something to me. She's younger. She's like in her late 20s. She said, we're listening to music. And she said something. She's like, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I'm just trying to get my numbers up. I'm doing all the trends. So like things should be going right. And I'm just like, I was like, what do you mean doing all the trends? Why is that such a priority? Is doing the trends because you're thinking from a music industry and music business and trying to and with your pen and missing and not taking in the quality of the art and who you are. And I told her you're doing everything. Your music sounds trendy. And I was just saying that to be nice, like your music sounds like everybody else's, but maybe you want to do something different. And she's like, what you mean? I was like, take that, but you have to put some twist, that second component I was talking about earlier. And I start saying some things. I was like, what was the cereal on top of your refrigerator? What did your auntie used to always say to you when you was young? What neighborhood did you grow up in? What bus did you catch to get to school, what was your favorite like brand, like clothes brand when you were 13, you know?
Yeah.
Did you ever lose a fight? How did you lose a fight? You know? And you got to take those things and incorporate them in your music, incorporate them in your, and that's going to kind of cut through your individuality. And she started crying. She immediately just started like thinking about it and then crying. And it just let me know that she's not dealing with herself. She's dealing with these trends and a persona and trying to like into these views and trying to do what I guess she thinks is the right thing or the successful thing to do, and never took the time to really value herself, you know?
Yeah, I'm wondering what you could compare it to. Like, in my head, I'm thinking almost like a hobby, I guess.
What?
I mean, it's a culture, but like, so like, for example, when teenagers get into skating.
Yeah.
And, you know, they're in a way competitive where, like my son, for example, my 18-year-old, there was a while, he's a pretty good skater now, but there was a while where he's like practicing, you know, doing the ollie and just for hours, you know, he's skating up and down and practicing and practicing. There was no, I want to make money from this. There was no, you know, fame or whatever. Like that was his thing. And every day he would come in the house, grab his skateboard, and Dad, I'm heading out to go skate. We're skating at the Tony Hawk Park. We're skating on, I think Bosman was the name of the street. We're skating here, we're skating there, we're going to the place in the mall. And it was, of course, almost like a culture, you know, what they had, but there was an identity that came along with it. Like through that, it helped him to understand and learn himself better.
Yeah.
Him having an interest in something he could be competitive about, something he could pour his energy into. And this now, like music, it's literally just about money and fame.
Yeah.
And that's it.
But and look what's happening. Look at what's happening to it hip hop wise. It's falling apart. It's getting less. You know. Not
even money. Honestly,
saying you're a rapper now, I feel like is almost like a joke. But back in the day, we were like gladiators.
Yeah.
Because we were and just those little, just on the street, just the ability to get into, you run into a cipher and jump in. That's another thing at those old rhyme cows. As much as we had the show packed in there, if you go outside, that's where Mac Miller started. Mac Miller was not of age and couldn't get in, but he would still go to the rhyme cows because outside are 4 or 5 ciphers. So he's out here getting game. He's been getting game since he's like 15. You know? Yeah. And he's out here in these ciphers, and Ajax is out there battling everybody. That's where I saw Real Deal. I didn't see it, but I saw some footage of Real Deal battling Harley Dice. He's just literally on the other side of the wall, like the other side of the wall.
Yeah.
And I would go to the door and be like, such and such, we need Ajax. We're in the next round. Let's go. And they'd be like, and come to Rhyme Cow and come and compete. Yeah. But they were out there sharpening their sword. It was a dense culture at that time. But then phones blown up in full potential in 2010, 2011. Phones blew up.
Yeah.
Now we can watch movie. We can do everything. It's these little computers. It's a brain hard drive now. Yeah. And after that, all this real time and being in front of people died because it's way comfortable to be on this phone. You know?
That's the thing.
View the world from that. So that's why Rhyme Cow kind of fell off. And we went from 30% of Pittsburgh rappers like, I'm scared to do that, to now 70. You know? They're like, I'm not doing that. Now they're like, I'm not doing that. Why am I going to do that? Why would I do that?
Yeah.
Why do I got to spin your wheel? You know? Why would I rap about that? That's dumb. Yeah. Why would I rap about corduroy pants? Just because that woman in the crowd? I'm not doing that. What's that look like?
People actually said this to you.
Yeah. They're like, anybody, I'm not doing that. I'm not spinning that wheel. don't freestyle. Why freestyle? That's weird.
That is crazy. But
we're not living in a real. We don't respect real time and real happenings.
But I mean, like if we compare it to like other cultures and other hobbies and stuff like that, like so I'm a fisherman.
Yeah.
Angler. I've been fishing my whole entire life. There's absolutely people, why would I go fishing? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing where, for me, I really get into it. Like, what type of rod I have, and what type of fishing line, where are we fishing at? I got my waders, different color lures, multiple tackle boxes. I probably got about 30 fishing rods at home.
Well, there's some all the way in, okay.
Yeah, completely. Okay. I got a fishing boat, a bass boat.
Oh, you're all right.
Was trying to compete like on a pro level, like working my way to get there. But there's people that's like, why would I go fishing? Where I'm like, yo, come on, I got a boat, I could teach you. And they're like, why would I do that? And it makes me feel like, okay, like I understand it now, how you're saying like there's a music industry, but hip hop isn't necessarily the music industry. Like sure, there's crossover.
It implemented and it enriched. Yeah. And if you look at it, but I have this. I'm working on this new album, and my boy said it. My boy Dan Status. He's like, I'm from the era of D. Lord Tucker, that woman who was trying to ban and stop hip hop with the whole steamrolling over CDs. That was also during that big time with Two Live Crew.
When they first came out with the parental advisory label.
So they was trying to shut hip hop down because they didn't understand it in the 90s. Yeah. And then they also created all these different genres to try to compete. So they didn't even know what to do with this. But they knew that it was exciting us. It was exciting music, and it was interesting, it was sharp, and it was real, for us. These rappers became our new, Malcolm X's and Martin Luther King's for a minute there. That's what Nas is for us, KRS-One, Rakim was for us. So they didn't know how to control it and contain it, at the time. But it's not, I'm telling you, this thing is not, it is music. It is a part of music, but it implements music. Hip-hop culture pretty much implements anything it attaches itself to.
Right.
Because of just the level of originality, of taking something and making it yours.
And
that's why I say it's so American. If you look at how America is even constructed, like they took a people from another place and brung them here, for their own. Hip hop does this, sampling, biting. That's why remember back then musicians didn't really respect us. They're like, yo, that's not music. They're talking to the beat, or they didn't play that bass line. They just sampled it through their machines. They're thieves. We're in a country full of thieves that are from other regions of the world. So it's a whole the irony of it is crazy.
Yeah.
But that's what we did with the music. But it seemed to work in the music industry. But it also worked in fashion. It also worked in dance. It also worked in DJing, just the rock a party, hip hop,
Yeah.
So, and it created all those vibes. But that doesn't mean that it's at the mercy of music. We don't always have to talk about rapping and lyricism and being an MC. We're just implementing music. That don't make me a musician. I'm still an MC before I'm a musician.
Right.
So what I'm trying to do now as the CEO and looking at the timing and the climate of where we're at in the world, it's a subgenre of hip hop. And I need to make a platform so strong and sturdy so I can teach this. So you can stay in this, like you said, I can get to, same way you said about your boat and all these rods, to have a young person stay in this realm. Mm-hmm. And like they rhyme Cal when they're 7th grade, and I put them through the 3 months, give them the fundamentals. That 4th month, they have to compete. So just imagine Bashir versus Alderdice, at the August Wilson.
Yeah.
And this is the new spoken word. This is the new spelling bee. This is the new debate teams. But we're pushing it like athletes. We got varsity jackets. We got jerseys. We have the logos.
So
and we rep our students, our class. We get merit badges. This is where Rhyme Cal needs to be, and this would be a discussion, because it's a discussion board, and these are lectures. These are criticism. We're being critiqued. I just did one, and my boy said, he was like, "How you gonna give me a 7, man? It's whatever. I make money though. I'm the richest person in the room. How I get a 7?" And I'm just like, what does that have to? Good for you. What does that have to do with spinning the wheel?
Yeah.
The other thing that's powerful about the wheel is you can pull up in a Bugatti with big old chain, big nice outfit, you flossing on everybody. Obviously you rich. And then you get up on stage and you spin the wheel, you hear the music, none of it matters. None of it matters. Right there in that moment, if people are in the Little Uzi or into whatever they're into, at least in Rhyme Cal, and I've seen it. None of that matters. What matters is, can you do what that's on that challenge right there? All your accolades are out the window at this very single moment. Can you do that last word right now? Can you do that crowd topic?
Right.
And we forget about the chain. We forget about the outfit. We forget about who you came in with. We forgot about your sex scandal. We forgot about, how much money you made doing commercials with Walmart. We forget about, you being at the Super Bowl. We don't care about none of that. Right there, that single moment, we are focused on, can you do that task? And that's really tough for a lot of people to handle that, because a lot of people strive off this conversation and these kind of accolades and how many views. Like, does 1 million views matter if you suck at Rhyme Cal while you're watching Rhyme Cal? And you could be like, man, whatever. I got 1 million views. I'm like, yeah, but right now, since we're talking about Rhyme Cal, that was bad, And that's important. So we have to that's my mission right now moving forward, is to make this thing, because hip hop culture as a whole needs this type of criteria, because they keep taking from my culture and not and putting it in they put it in commercials, they put it in all these systems, they call it selling out, where we need to own that. And this can be taught,
So, and by the time this releases, people will have already seen the episode, so I can go in and explain this. But when I interviewed Farouk Saeed, he said something that was amazing, blew my mind. He said that we are the first generation that are products of hip hop that grew to be adults.
Yeah.
And because I had asked him, I was like, what about, because he's in the shoes.
Yeah.
And I was like, what do you say to the people that say Jordans are immature? And he's like, I am hip hop.
Wow.
Since then, that conversation and then this conversation, it has me thinking. So like my wheels are turning literally as we're talking. And I'm like, every episode that I've recorded, you always see my hat to the back.
Yeah.
Every last single episode. I wear a pair of Jordans every last single episode.
Wow.
Usually got on a graphic tee. Like the way that I talk to my kids, everything about me for the most part and how I operate is a kid that grew up from the 80s to the 90s, early 2000s, and was a product of hip hop. Where, if you say something and like, yo, I'm sitting right now at the table, walk down there if you able. Ooh, that's a bar. Yeah. And it just sticks out in your head. And you know what I mean?
You think like that. You think wordplay.
Exactly. Yeah. And it, to a certain extent, like for example, I think I told the story before. My dad looked and I had a Scully on and it was like off to the side. And he's like, why are you wearing your Scully off to the side? And I'm like, Dad, I'm gonna be myself. I couldn't really find the words to describe to him what it was. But it's like, no, I'm hip hop. Like, yes, I'm being myself, but I am hip hop.
Yeah.
Where I sometimes want to hide that, my hip hop culture, because a lot of times, and I don't know if this is white America or just, people in general that are not hip hop, but they tend to associate hip hop with negativity.
Yeah.
The same way, you know, black culture in general in Pittsburgh is associated with negativity. Where, you know, if you're wearing a hoodie, if your hat's to the back, your hat's twisted to the side, you're wearing Jordans around everywhere.
Right, but I just had that conversation. They're like, my friend, he was staying with me, he made a joke. He's like, well, eventually, Stretch, you're going to have to, you know. And he was joking, but he was like joking but serious. He was like, eventually, you're going to have to get your fashion, like, you know, going to, if you want to talk to. And I'm like, no. I was like, I'm not playing the game. I'm not playing their game. I have my own game. I have my own system. I have my own infrastructure that I have to build and stand on. So I'm a hip hop guy, you know, and I'm gonna wear sneakers. I'm gonna wear a hoodie. I'm gonna. This is who I am. This is what, you know, represent. I'm not gonna wear no suit because I'm not doing that. I'm not.
Is that a thing too for the women that don't? I hear this all the time. Women say, I want a man that dresses like a man, is not immature. Where is it because we don't accept hip hop as a culture?
It's the lines that have been blurred by what the music industry and these other industries have like instilled on us. It's kind of like broken our, you know, the strength of it. It has a negative connotation to it. I mean, it has that.
Like young and negative.
But this is what I blame the music industry. You know, I blame the music industry and the entertainment business. They cashed in. They wanted to. They've been trying to shut this down, and they realized in the '90s they could not shut this down.
So they
and then we got into the 2000s, and now they just control it. And a way to control it in these industries, you got to get people young, and young people are impressionable. They are trying to make money. Hip hop culture is not trying to make money. Hip hop culture is trying to uphold their culture and their standards. So this is the fight. And just with this conversation, what you're saying, we are losing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. We are losing. That's why I'm saying, here's how I know I'm on the right path with Rhyme Calisthenics and why I have to get it into schools. I keep saying, I say it to my team, and I want to say it to you. How I know this is going to work is the Kendrick and Drake beef. Those are two separate EPs of music based off competition and a beef and dissing that made it all the way to the Super Bowl. A super time. We got the chance as adults in hip hop to see a Super Bowl halftime show be a dedication to dissing another rap artist. All the signs are in it, all the laid out, the very smart, very calculated.
Yeah.
That is the standard. That is the highest level of hip hop culture, implementing and enriching other systems that are in play. The Super Bowl, one of the most watched events every year.
Yeah.
I diss two brothers going at it on record, or at least one. One wins and has that to do that to the other. And we're just looking at it like it's regular. But that is, even though they want to say Drake is maybe not hip hop, and that was what it does. He was standing on some hip hop culture is what Kendrick was doing, while Drake was standing on some music industry. What did Drake do? Drake lies, gossip, use Tupac's voice. What's his name? Stand up. He did a pop-up show in Compton. So these are all and I watched that whole thing and I'm like, this is what I need to do. We as artists, there's a couple things that we stand on, or usually I think we should stand on in this hip hop culture, and that's localization, like rep your city.
Yeah.
That's one thing. That's a part of the identity. When I'm listening Duran or these bands back in the 80s, I didn't know where they were from unless I go look it up. I can just play these records and I know this one's from Inglewood, this one's from Chicago. They're telling me where they're from. They're telling me who they are.
Yeah.
When you got people in music where that's not the objective, it's just music, but it's so the objective, at least off the foundation of rap implementing. And that's why it was so impactful, because it's so, you can be so dense with the content because we're rapping.
Yeah.
With singing, you just sing one thing and it sounds good sonically,
Like a
and the
couple
words might line up.
Yeah.
Like I can say I love you in the hook and then kind of like vaguely cover how much I love a person, get the hook, and I'm out. But with a rap song, I can do the hook, I love you. I can talk about where you're from. I can talk about where we met. I can describe what outfit you had on, our first date. I can jump forward. We have some kids. Why I love you, because you're the mother of my child. I can cover all of this content with rapping in one song.
Yeah.
That's powerful. And that's something that we forget about. And that's something that the music industry kind of like wanted to control. And this is why we're having this fucked up conversation, and why people are like, ooh, they're more caught up in the hip hop in the entertainment sense. Well, we're from an era where we were standing on these type of standards, and it's important to be who you. Remember, there was a time where like you can't, what's his name? Dana Dane sound a little bit like Slick Rick.
Yeah, that was I was a little bit young, but yeah.
So Slick Rick, we already got a Slick Rick. Mm-hmm. Intelligent Hoodlum sounded a lot like Rakim. Mm-hmm. So we chose Rakim.
Yeah.
We took the forefront. Intelligent Hoodlum's there, but we're good.
We don't only pick one. Yeah.
It's this feeling of only pick one, where you can listen to all of that.
Yeah.
Is that the case today?
That was back. So my clearest memory of like the difference in styles, like I remember when Mystical first came out with so Y'all Ain't Ready Yet?
Yeah.
I think was his original song. Mm-hmm. But you had like, Mystical, you had a Snoop Dogg, you had a Redman, you had like all these completely different artists that sound completely different. That was the thing back then, to not sound like everyone else.
Not to sound,
I don't know.
Why? But why? Why not sound like somebody else? Whose idea was that? Was that hip hop culture's idea, or is that music industry? Because if we look at it now, we prefer you to sound like this, and this, because these guys' numbers.
Yeah, I don't think that was
up.
music industry. Music industry is more like we're funneling into what makes more profit.
Yeah.
So like, if this makes this profit, this white cup, give me another white cup so I can get more profit.
Wow.
Whereas us, it was more like, and I feel like this is maybe tied to this Pittsburgh crabs in a pail concept too. Like the whole lack of resources conversation that we have, but it's more so like just the pride of me. I'm the guy. Like there's only one of me.
Yeah.
Praise and appreciate me for who I am. I worked hard to do all of these things, and I want to be recognized for what I put into it.
Wow.
That could be a thing. This is just a guess, just off the top of my head, so I don't know for sure. But I don't know. I know I definitely didn't want to sound like anyone when I was young. Like when I was trying to rap.
It was all around you that you were going to get dissed if you did.
Yeah.
Like it's big trouble if you're going here trying to sound like somebody. Don't let you sound like somebody from Wilkinsburg, you from the north, and somebody find out, it's gonna be a problem. But that's when it was more culture, and we didn't, it was ours. It was small. It was a smaller scene, but slow, just growing and expanding. And even with it coming to Pittsburgh off of New York, it just hit us the same way. That was just the era.
I did have moments though. Like I said, Wu-Tang was my thing.
Yeah.
So, like, not like I was trying to voice-wise sound like anybody, but there was a time where I used really big words and we try to make... Matter of fact, my name, Kalaj Dame, literally comes from my love of Wu-Tang.
Okay, yeah.
It's spelled Kalaj.
All right.
And I'm trying to figure out different weird ways of spelling a word that kind of feels Wu-Tangish, is where it came from. Then in the mid-2000s, I kind of switched my style up a little bit because I was hanging around New York people and stuff. So, I mean, there was a little bit of blend to it. It's crazy. This whole entire conversation, we're dipping more into like the culture of it, the not the art form, but like this, like the community, like this is a thing, a tangible thing.
Yeah, it could be its own thing. And I'm trying to get it. That's what I'm saying when you're talking about my hobbies. It's like I literally work and I go home and I try to figure this out. But this is the infrastructure that I'm trying to treat Rhyme Cal like, because we are so far. We are the adults of like what Farouk was saying, that it can have stat. I'm trying to set up this to be a stat system. Yeah, and we can have intelligent conversations about my art. I don't like people playing with my culture or playing with this. I like what you're saying, the papoose and taking your pen very seriously. Yeah. I like that. I'm into that for myself. As for Rhyme Cal, I want you to be able to express yourself and be able to find that and discover that. But I want it to be in its own. I want to get to the point where it's like it's a verb. Like I rhyme Cal. I want to get to the point where I don't rap. I'm not an. I rhyme Cal. That's what I do. You know how battle rappers say I'm a battle rapper? Yeah. I want people to say I rhyme Cal, which is the new updated version of being an MC. Yeah. So when someone says I rhyme Cal, that means I can freestyle, I can do it right, I can set it off right now. I got songs, I can put points on the board. Yeah. However you want it, let's get it. And I think there's a quality to that. There's there's like a pro wrestling element to it, I think those are two different things, though. I think, like, if you look at it like a WWF wrestling type thing, I think that's more on the entertainment aspect of really just produce a show, clip it up, put it out, tour, those type things. And as long as you can get those numbers up, it's literally just like the URL or Smack Battle League. Yeah. But this is, but you can't. There's a school aspect too, right? Yeah, the school, but that was the school aspect, and I want I want Rhyme Cal to be like, just imagine sports announcers. Imagine like talking about it once the game is clear, all the rules, all the stats, everything. And I'd say I have this thing already laid out for schools. Just imagine, 4 people coming around and we talking about the new kid at Otterdice. Like we got such and such came in, he put like 27 on the boards. He's gonna take his team. He's gonna take his team to the champions, but they're gonna have to see Westinghouse and DeMar's down there. He's not playing. He's the freestylist, and like have this kind of conversation in this space, and it's just. And you can do this the same way you said with the fishing. Like I rhyme Cal, I write every day, I compete, and it's my job to get to have this successful platform for them to be able to strive. Even out of, so I'm saying from high school, get them a scholarship, and then they go into college with this, and then they compete at a college level. Yeah. And then from that, you can use these accolades to get a job or stay in Rhyme Cal, become announcer, start going on like you said before, now we're in a position we can go on tour and you can see such and such from Compton that won 2027. We also got what's the name from Kansas City. Yeah. That had a crazy run back in 2000 and such and such. And we're going on a tour and they're going to do some of their songs. They're also going to spin the wheel. And we're going to have some local artists that are going to open for the Rhyme Cal tour. And it's a rhyme. We're here now. It's my goal. And if you want to hear that type of, and it even be an argument like, ooh, you like how you You probably had to fight for Wu-Tang. I remember I had to fight to be a De La Soul fan in Pittsburgh. Like, oh, you like them weirdos. And I had to stand on that because everybody's listening to Spice One.
Yeah.
And they're like, I'm like, why is all this West Coast music happening in Pittsburgh? This is an East Coast city. But if you talk to anybody here where it's not, that the Chronic and Gin and Juice hit this city by storm.
Yeah, I was definitely a West fan.
I was a West fan too, but I was listening on different types of. That was the era when you bought everything, though.
Yeah.
You know, you bought everything.
It was so expensive. It was like I was younger, so for me it was like you got $15, so you got to pick one. Wu-Tang was later. Wu-Tang was like later in school. I want to say 10th, 11th grade. Yeah, somewhere around there.
Yeah, Wu-Tang for me was 11th grade. I think 11th grade, I remember, I don't know who gave me the tape, but one side, it was a dub tape. One side was the Rumpelstiltskins, and the other side was the first Wu-Tang record.
Oh, no. What year did you graduate?
I graduated in 95.
Oh, snap. So you graduated the year I went into school.
Yeah. See?
I came out in 99.
Okay.
Yeah. Because Wu-Tang Forever, that was the thing. Like 11th grade.
Yeah.
I remember playing football, everybody on the school bus reciting like the whole entire Triumph song.
Oh, well, that's good. Yeah.
That was always a thing. Wu-Tang.
Yeah, that first record, it hit me like. There's a couple
36 Chamber?
36 hit me like, I was like, I want to do this. This got a little bit of everything. These guys are tough. These guys are smart. These guys are abstract. These guys are martial arts, you know, like.
Matter of fact, Wu-Tang influenced me so much that when I finally started, like, really getting into music, I started my own record label. I had a team that was kind of like a Wu-Tang of Pittsburgh.
Oh, okay.
And it was literally like 10 of us that all rap and had albums and everything. I haven't uploaded it to streaming yet, but we performed and, you know, put albums together, all types of stuff. I gotta see about that, try to release it.
But yeah, those are those your brothers, your signet, all of that I want to try to keep incorporated in Rhyme Calisthenics, because then you can have your team. That's another thing is what the music industry seemed to do was segregation within even working with people. Did you notice there ain't no more rap groups have died out in the 2000s?
It's a thing now.
You don't even have a hype man.
And I guess this is probably part of the conversation, but people don't sit down and write songs together.
No.
Like me as a producer, when people, send me something, I hate it. It's the worst thing in the world. Like, whenever I make a track, I want to be sitting there next to the artist, you know, play something, random stuff, hit buttons, and I kind of go off their vibe. So, like, if you're sitting there, I feed off of that. Okay.
No one's feeding each other no more. There's no more feed. There's no more bouncing off. Let me just have my moment to write, recite, write, record, and edit.
I always
just send it to me because you were talking about resources too. Another thing there's a problem with that is our short attention span with the advancements of technology is a serious problem. To made us even scared to be in this room. This is way too organic and old code to be standing, even sitting across from each other, you know? There's a lot of podcasts that are just, and that happened after the COVID for the most part.
And so I set this up on purpose, like for it to be pretty much like an intimate conversation. And I wanted it to be face to face where we're like zeroed in. Like you probably ain't even know this has been about 3 hours.
Oh, we're over it?
it's coming up on it right now. You probably didn't even notice that.
I wasn't. We were kicking it.
This is literally I believe the first conversation that I have not gone back to my notes.
I'm sorry, bro.
I said I'm sorry. It's a good thing.
Okay, good.
I'm so dialed into this conversation. But I decided to do it this way on purpose because I wanted that organic, you know, one-on-one conversation feel where we could dive in and just have an authentic conversation. There are people that I reach out to that are more millennials, we'll say, that refuse to do it. I'm not sitting there for 3 hours. I have nothing to talk about. Like just in this environment, you know, like you said, the one-on-one type situation.
Gold. It's in this day. It's gold. It's currency now, and they don't even realize it, and it's causing a lot of problems. Yeah. But look at the tech. The 8-track, you couldn't even rewind. Look at the record. It's too sensitive to just be jumping, right? You had to sit through it. Look at the timing of the songs. Yeah. Hip hop is one of the people that got short with the breaks. Yeah. They're like, I don't want to listen to all this James Brown. Just give me the break and and we were freaked out. That happened in the 80s. Yeah. Then look at what cassettes did. In cassettes, like, you have this, you don't want to listen to such and such's verse. You go, it's too much and it's going to mess up your vibe to do that. So you let it run. Where are songs at then? Now we're at 4 minutes. We're like 4 minutes, 5-minute long songs.
They used to be 8 and 12 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah, because of the records, because you were at the mercy of the tech that you were listening through. So you just had to, and you didn't think, you just play it, set it, and forget it. Yeah. Then we get the CDs. And then we're like, click.
But to fast forward, you had to hold the button. That was kind of annoying.
That's annoying. But where we at now, songs are 4 minutes. You know,
and you can literally just click on the part you want.
Yeah, and now we're at the place the line, which really, like, oh, you know, I don't want to hear Eminem's verse. Listen to what's the name, and you just jump to it
and scroll around till you see the seconds of where you want.
Yeah.
And it's
faster to get where you want to get to. Too much power in the tech. Too much choice.
And
all the way around.
2.5 minute songs.
And now we're at 2.5. Yeah. The proper place is 1 minute and 45 is where we're at. And it's going to get shorter and shorter. It's just going to get and now AI resources, you can get you can get a whole setup for $1,000. And I can put out records. Give me $1,000, I can get a beat machine, I can get on TrackLib, take a sample, chop at it, even pitch it down, rap to that loop.
That's the difficulty for me to handle in being a producer, because I remember when I got my first job, I got 3 jobs actually. I had 3 jobs all at once so that I could start buying my studio equipment. And I went out, I bought an MPC 2000 XL, I bought my ASRX Pro, I bought a Roland VS840. I bought a
ASR, man. That's a big Pittsburgh keyboard right there.
I still got I got the red one, not the X Pro. Okay. I had the ASR X Pro, and I got a Korg Triton rack. Okay. 3 jobs to buy all this with Musician Supply or Musical Supply, whatever it was, American Musical Supply, where they had the easy payments. Yeah. So it was like you pay 5 payments and then you get it.
I did do that on I did that on Z Sounds. For my speaker. Yeah. So I understand.
It's a thing. So I worked really hard to get my studio equipment, and then when I got my studio equipment, you had to learn how to hook it up. You had to learn, how to sample, how to play it, everything else. Yeah. Now I can, Korg Triton sounds, download. Boom, playing, and it's like kids look at it like, oh, you're old, and that's old. We don't do it that way anymore. But I think it's more so you're losing the value. Just like you said, like on the record, you had to move the needle, like sensitivity. You're losing the value that you would gain from what you used to have to put into it. Yeah. Like the hours, the energy, the money, the time to learn it. There was so much involved with it that you just appreciated it.
Yeah, and that lets you know that lets a person know how serious and how passionate you are. That's why I say there's a lot of very talented artists, and the ones that persevered they always talk about how rappers in Pittsburgh is like whack, but we never talk about the challenge of the audience that we're trying to appease out here. Man, they're really tough, and they're short. They don't give you a shot. They want to go straight to the, they want to go straight to the trend. They want to go straight to Snoop Dogg. They want to go straight to the big artists, and they're looking at you like a joke. But my theory on that is, what hip hop spot do we have in Pittsburgh? Name one right now. We can go there right now. They're gonna be spinning some hip hop. There's a Nas Illmatic poster on the board. I can get a drink. They're kicking it.
There's a lot. So I've been having a lot of conversations around not specifically this topic, but just in general, the idea of the black community in Pittsburgh, where, yeah, hip hop isn't entirely a black thing.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's kind of like the root, the source in black community.
Yeah.
Where if you look at Pittsburgh, you got to watch the podcast this weekend because Saeed Farouk, he explains it. I don't know if it's perfectly, like I had to check his numbers and statistics and stuff like that. Not saying I think he's lying, but he puts out some information and explains it in such a way that feels almost like it was a plan to break down and just destroy the black community in Pittsburgh in a way.
Wow.
Where when we talk about hip hop, going to a hip hop place, when we talk about a middle class community, black community in Pittsburgh, or, why is it that WPXI, the Facebook and stuff, when they comment on it, everybody's racist. Whenever anything black is the topic in Pittsburgh is viewed as negative. And, if it's a black event, like a bar or restaurant or something like that, they're usually getting shut down.
Yeah. There's
a lot to it, but I think the question you just asked about a hip hop spot, I think is roped into that conversation too.
Yeah. We don't have no outlet the South Side is a big club circuit, Carson Street.
Yeah.
And there's not one hip hop spot over there.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of old white money here. It's all white owners and owners. That's why Rhyme Cal is only really successful because Justin supports hip hop culture. At
the same time, I think because it was backpacker, like boom bap based, I think that's another portion as to why it was so successful. I think if it was more geared on street rap, it wouldn't have been as successful.
But it only appears to be backpack, I guess, because of reflection of who was putting it on, which is me. And it's not the street thing to be spinning no big candy colored wheel.
Not even that.
It's not tough. The spinning, it's not a tough sound bite.
I wouldn't even say what it is specifically because everybody did Rhyme Cal, right?
They did, yeah. And that was part of the goal, to try to break this kind of segregation.
Yeah.
And that separation was the goal of Rhyme Cal, to just everybody can get busy because everybody can rap, but we weren't like, you got to be backpacker, you got to be I didn't care about none of that. Like, can you rap?
The same time, Shadow Lounge wasn't necessarily a backpacker place. Everybody was there.
But we know that people considered it a backpacker place.
And that's what I'm saying, the brand of it.
Yeah.
Because that's how we felt about it. Yeah. It was like, we knew, don't bring the craziness here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And that's what made it for some people. And it's like when a black, like, I don't think that I'm light-skinned. You light-skinned. But you tell a darker person,
you yelling just like me.
Yeah, he's like, you light-skinned, Stretch. Like, I'm not light-skinned.
Yeah.
And that's the same thing, like a street motherfucker. Shadow Lounge was safe.
Yeah.
It was a safe place.
Yeah.
It didn't have security.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Did you ever see anybody at the door? You know how they stand with the damn bulletproof vest, stand at the door, check. Did you ever see a security, a cop? Did they ever hire a cop at the door?
Never.
No, I've never seen it.
I've never seen it.
It was a safe place. So when people that are used to being disruptive, people that are from the streets, they're going to immediately just, they soft, or they backpack, or they whatever, because it was a safe place. And that was fine, and that was good, and that's what we needed. But it was black owned, and it was still supporting hip hop culture and black culture and black excellence.
Yeah.
And there's no other place that kind of like did that or have that or even trying, to even do that. And there is a hip hop space. I think it's the 804 Club Elegance. I think they're now black owned,
They've been black owned for a while. Cardell.
Yeah, so
Carmen
but
Cardell,
when you
yeah.
go there now, I think they do a Monday. They do like a open mic or open stage where you can come in.
They have
and you can do
the
your
music reviews. I think Asco and Banger, Tim Banger, I think is his name. Loud Pack, basically.
Oh, what's Loud Pack?
Yeah.
I thought Grime Mode was
the old. Maybe I'm messing it up. I feel like they are a crew that used to be Loud Pack.
okay.
At one point in
Grime
time.
Mode. I thought it was Grime Mode.
It might be Grime Mode. I don't know.
He's Grime Mode doing Dion.
It-
But they're doing hip hop. But I was there one of the days, and the people that are taking access, there was a bunch of females shaking ass and doing hip hop. But that's where hip hop is right now, you know. So they are doing a hip hop thing.
Yeah.
The backpacker.
Shout out
place.
to them. Shout out to the Monday joints.
Yeah. So people
Music
are attempting
reviews.
to do it. It's here. There needs to be a lot more work. I think we need to stop we got to stop that old conversation because it's just real. It's separation. It gives hip hop an expiration date. We're not milk. It doesn't it doesn't get spoiled after a while. Why should it?
Yeah.
When, like I just explained, that whole content, all the content that we can cover. You know, why can't we not make grown music, young music? Why does it have to expire? Because of, I feel, these other industries and our history, a history of black men, a history of people being in the streets, the consequences that came with everything that's been unpacked since hip hop has started. And that's why it's on us to change that, direction. So that's what I mean by not trying to come out here and just get rappers that are already rappers to play Rhyme Cal. It's too much happened with these phones and the internet and what we said, the technology. So now you see that it's affecting our culture, so it needs to change.
Right.
And that's why I'm not like trying to focus on rappers now. I need to focus on the youth. They need to learn this so they can grow into these good habits.
Right.
Like we got to talk to a 10-year-old about a hype man and tell them why it's important to have a hype man when you perform.
Right.
And talk about performances and talk about how performances can make you strong in your everyday behavior. It's going to make you understand just standing in line at get-go. It's going to make you, if you have to be ahead of a meeting, these are all life skills that you can take on. And
Right.
it doesn't just, you're just a rapper.
Right.
It's how we have to get this across to the youth. There's a lot of things in hip hop that can implement there. And that's what I'm trying to focus on, so we can have this, so we don't lose us. I feel like hip hop is losing itself,
Yeah.
But we got to go back to how we still love it and how it's impactful. That Kendrick, there were some big moments for me that I thought it was going to make a change, but it always seems to fall back to the fuck shit.
Right,
That
right,
one moment that I thought was, you remember the Locks versus Dipset?
Yeah.
Remember how
Versus.
I thought that was like a clear picture of like actionable steps and motherfucker talking shit.
Yeah.
And all the distractions that come with these actionable and actually like the craft and the skill that what you stand on, what I stand on.
Right.
Paired to Dipset. Now going into this, a lot of people, when I talked about who you think's gonna win in the verses, a lot of people from Pittsburgh was like Dipset. I was like, really? Like I don't see that.
Yeah.
I can just tell by the flair of their logo that they're not gonna win. Like there's too many other distractions. They get overly elaborate beats, overly elaborated outfits, and that's okay. That's a part of this hip hop culture too. It's in subdivisions. This culture goes deep.
Yeah.
And the Locks are actionable. They rap. They know each other's stuff. And that's what I wanted for like Rhyme Cal, is that back and forth. That's what I want to see. But more on the side of the Locks. Because once again, when we show up and it's time to rap and do our songs, who really showed up?
Right.
It was obviously the Locks showed up to rap. And Dipshit showed up for fame and for a check. They showed up for a check. And for a congratulations of everything that they've done. And they deserve that, and they earned that position.
Right.
But the Locks took that away from them when they showed up to perform. And you can like see the competition, you can see the difference. And I thought that was going to be a major turn for hip hop, you know?
It actually was, I would say.
I feel like it did in the moment. I had this conversation, people loved that.
Not even in the moment. Okay, wait, what time is it? All right, we got to wrap up. So we'll make this last point. Yeah. I believe that it did signify a shift where we see right now that our generation is, we're coming out of the office, we're coming out of our homes, out of, parenthood and responsibilities, and we're saying, hey, it's okay to love hip hop music still.
Yeah.
Where, if the Locks tour, perform somewhere, our generation is going out to see it. If, Jada, Nas, whoever, they're releasing a new album, we're listening to it. We're buying it. Like, we are still supporting and being hip hop fans.
Yeah.
I think that is like the whole shift of the industry is like, we are the ones that are making money or we'll say paying money to our favorite artists.
Yeah.
Whereas these younger guys, they're not really making any money because they're only dependent on streams, and the kids aren't coming out to watch them perform live.
Yeah.
And if they were ever on a Versus,
they don't know what that looks like. They just see them through the lens. They see them through the streams and through these little boxes,
Yeah.
And we always say that, like, I can't trust that because this guy can be all of their fame, but below that, he probably don't even know pants on. Like, I don't know. I don't trust that.
Yeah.
I don't have trust.
Yeah.
I need to be, but I'm old. I guess I'm old in that sense of still being in a room. But it's impactful. I think that's the new gold, and that's what these kids need to learn. So that's our future, And also, we want to get into gaming instead of taking technology and it affecting us in this kind of like microwave type of, quick flip type of, our short attention span. We should have an implement. That's what I was having these issues with. I was having a big conversation with AI and everything that it's doing because it seems like it's replacing art now and being a quick fix for certain things and shortcuts. Where we're trying to develop an app on a video game where we use the AI to just simply voice recognition and voice control. So we can get back to that same feeling that you had when you would run up to them ciphers, when we would be outside. That has died. So now we got to figure out how to take that same feeling that you had, but adapt it into now with these phones.
Right.
So that's what I'm saying. I work and I go home and I work on this. Right. I'm working on this infrastructure.
Right.
So I'm in a position where AI has the ability to take my voice and receive it in rhyme form. It's smart enough to receive things in rhyme form. We just have to make it fast enough to be able to trigger it. So now I love how you said dropping gems way early. We're working on a game called Dropping Gems.
Oh, okay.
So just imagine words coming from the beat comes on and words are dropping from the top of the screen. And you have all these words coming down slowly. And you're a rapper, and you freestyle. So you take those words that you're reading through your microphone, and then you kind of like rap and use those. Or not even, you use those words, and then the AI is going to trigger them and explode. You get a little point in the corner, and then you just keep going,
Yeah.
And if you mess up, it's fine. But the AI is, so this is not AI replacing you. This is not AI writing for you. This is not AI making your art. This is AI listening to you and helping you develop this skill and to play this game. And it's almost a survival game. After certain levels, the beat might change. It's moving faster.
That's like a lyrical guitar hero.
It's a lyrical guitar hero.
Wow.
But to trigger it is voice. This is voice command.
So Rhyme Calisthenics video game.
The Rhyme Calisthenics, video game.
That is amazing. Yeah.
And that's where we're headed now, into this curriculum, and then actually having this kind of software and this kind of technology to kind of help them get back to this what we grew up on. It's just being excited about rapping and not like, oh, I'm rapping to be, you know, and that's what happened. That's why when someone says I'm a rapper, it's a joke because it's, unless they're famous, because it's all attached to what the music industry and what these entertainment businesses done to our culture, where we can't just be in this culture and just do it what we love. It has to have that money attached to it. So when you're saying you're 50 years old and I'm still rapping, that's going to look like a joke because I don't see where's the money, where's the status, where's the success that you guys are always bragging about in your culture, in your music, because that is what's been put to the forefront.
Right.
Because people like to listen to music in like a movie, or like they like to dream about what they can achieve, you know, and that's what people do. You got a lame doesn't feel so lame when he's driving down the street pumping some Tupac, you know, and that's the effect that we always seem to forget about. So we glorified all this. This is on us, so we can't point the finger. We glorified us and we signed up for this. But there's more to this content and there's more to this science than just that. And that's what Rhyme Calisthenics has got to do moving forward, because it's deep. It's gotten deep. We're 52 years old as a culture, so we might as well get into the science of it. So that's my challenge. That moving forward.
Is that okay? Last question. The video game part, is that like proprietary? Is this something we should put out publicly? Do I need to clip it out?
I said I'm working on this year. Yeah, I'm working on it. This is everything I'm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
I know. Yeah, I know.
This is huge.
And that's why I'm not out. That's why I'm not like. I go to work and go home and I work on this.
You know what?
I work on this whole infrastructure.
I completely understand. After talking to you now, I get it. I get it 100%. That is our time, though.
Yeah.
It has been an absolute pleasure talking to you.
It was good, right? I'm sorry it took a lot.
No worries. This is, wow. And for the longest time, I'm like, I need some stuff to talk about. Like, we can't talk about Rhyme Cal the whole time.
But we ended up talking about Rhyme Cal the whole time. You can talk about Rhyme Cal the whole time.
There's so much more. I often forget about the MC inside of me, because life is taking over. And it's like, who wants to talk about rap all day? And like you said, the culture of it, there's so much more to it that I didn't even realize. It was like dormant inside of me, you know.
But for a lot of us, it's not in demand anymore. That part, that skill, that sharpen, but it's still can't. The Kendrick and Drake, man, the Super Bowl, it's right there. Music's not doing that. No one ever said, no one ever said, yo, the Beatles would kill the Rolling Stones, son. You're crazy. They got Paul. They can't lose. Let the Rolling Stones get out of pocket with the Beatles. Watch Paul show up and show out. You never heard that from, Stevie Wonder. Who's the better blind singer, Stevie Wonder or Ray Charles? You've never, and you know who would do that if that conversation comes to be?
What's that?
Hip hop cats will make things hip hop. You know?
Because we're competitive.
Because it's competitive. We from the streets. We're surviving. It came from nothing to me. It came off of thrown away, record players. Garbage in abandoned buildings that they were trying to get an insurance done and burn down. They were trying to destroy this area where black kids were playing. That's how hip hop was born, out of rubble. So of course there's going to be a little bit of survival of the fittest. There's going to be all these things that we have to go against. It's what makes it so divine and so important.
Right.
And now it's a multi-billion-dollar business. If you look at all of in entertainment, in movies, in products, in fashion, in dance, and it's how many lead singers become actors?
And you know what? I almost want to say is driving everything, or it has a part to play in everything. But either way, it's absolutely everything. That's crazy. Thank you again for the shirt. I meant to show this. So My brother Stretch has brought me a Rhyme Calisthenics t-shirt. This is, man, and it's so hard because I try not to wear the same shirt all the time when I come.
Yeah, wear that in another interview with somebody else, with another rapper.
I'm definitely
You know?
gonna rock this. Again, it's been a pleasure, man. I certainly appreciate you stopping by.
I was nervous, but this is good. This is a good thing, man. I'm glad you're doing this for the city and the culture. This is really good.
I appreciate
glad to be a part, man.
And definitely, we're gonna have to run it back. I feel like there's a lot more we could talk about.
Oh yeah, let's next year. You got so many people to interview, and I'll be in another place, so we can get
we can get it going.
Yeah.
You know what it is? It's the homie Play Cousin Stretch.
I'm working, y'all. I'm working. Okay.
He's working. It's the Play Cousin. I'm Kalaj Dame. See you next time.
Late nights, real talks, turn the noise down. Welcome to Kalaj Dame. City lights, long days, heavy on the mind. Everybody talking, but they never take the time. Truth in my chest, I don't sugarcoat pain. If you sitting at the table, you gotta show your face. Conversations deeper than the surface we've been shown. Ain't here to sell a dream, just to show you what I know. Every voice matters, every story got away. If you living it for real, you gon' feel this pain. No scripts, no frames, just heart and time. If you listen close, you might change your mind. We don't argue just to win debates. We just shine a light where they hide the grave. It's the Kalaj Dame Podcast, where the real don't gotta broadcast. Every truth gotta pass. Every voice got a lane. It's the Kalaj Dame Podcast. Pull a seat, let the walls crack. If you ever felt unseen, you gon' feel your name. Yeah. From the block to the boardroom, same questions asked. Why we build so fast, we never heal the past. I don't play judge, I don't play your role. I just let you talk while the story unfolds. Bridging gaps, they pretend they there. Men and women trying to meet halfway, no filter, but respect stay intact. If it hit too close, that's a personal fact.